Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. 33 people already watching. Shout out to all the real ones in the comment section. We have a loaded show today. We're going to go over the latest Donovan Mitchell rumors because that's what continues to circulate around the New York Knicks, and it's my job to find and cover the biggest stories that relate to the New York Knicks. And going on month number 3, it is Donovan Mitchell. We have some reports from Jake Fisher of Bleacher Report. We got some good quotes from him. We have word that Danny Ainge declined a trade that involved RJ Barrett and multiple unprotected picks. We're going to unpack that. And then we have 2 mailbags that we're going to get into later on in the show. We're going to be answering the questions from all of the real ones out there. Speaking of the real ones, as we got 69 people in the chat. Nice. Where are my real ones at? Where are the real ones at? Drop a real one in the comment section. I'll give you a shout out as I crack open this free Truly mango that was in the fridge. Let's ride. Give me 1 second. Get the real ones in the comments. Got to handle something on Twitter real quick, and then we will be ready to roll. I got my guy Patrick Seatman with me today, as always, the producer of New York Knicks Now. Let's ride. All the real ones are holding down the chat. Mikey, Eddie, Camario, Slick Rich, Big L, Tricky Nicky, Mavericks, Mount March. Spicy Sham says, are we taking shots? That's up to you, my guy. We got a fresh bottle of Fireball. If we want to turn this into a party, we can. But I want to talk to you guys about some Knicks stuff. But as always, we can always turn it into a party. You guys know the drill. $10 super chat equals a shot. We got a super chat menu. We'll pop up in a second. But I just want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat real quick. Tricky Nicky, Walking Deadly, Selt, Astral, Big L, William, Mikey, Sherwin, Malicious, Eddie, Camario, Big L, Maverick, Spicy Sham, Malicious, John Connor, Jr., Smooth B, I'm Mikey, Kyle, Eddie Cologne, Pablo. My guys, it is good to see everybody in the chat. What is going on? Drop a real one in the comments if you're a real one. Hector, my guy, Monty's in the chat, Will is in the chat, Keith is in the chat. Everyone is finding their seats. So as people continue to jump into the chat, I want to ask you guys a question. Because the Knicks, they made a trade offer, according to Shams of The Athletic and according to Jake Fisher of Bleacher Report, of RJ Barrett, 2 unprotected first-round picks, going to Utah and getting back Donovan Mitchell. Would you have included, if you were the GM of the New York Knicks, if you were Leon Rose, would you have included RJ Barrett in a Donovan Mitchell trade? It's going to be a lot harder now due to the contract extension to trade RJ Barrett. It's not impossible. It still could happen. But would you have included RJ in a Donovan trade? I want to know what all you think. Let me know what you think. I wouldn't have done it. I'm not trading RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett is a Knick through and through. I don't think there's any reason to move off of him. He's 21 years old, just turned 22. Played the whole season last year at 21 years old. Does he need to get better at some things? Absolutely. But we've already seen a lot of what RJ can do. I am not trading RJ Barrett unless it's for like Giannis, Luka, the elite of the elite. And you might call me biased. You might call me stupid. That's just the way I feel. The Knicks have a 21-year-old, 22-year-old potential, budding superstar in RJ Barrett. Why would you trade him? I don't know. Let's see what the chat's saying. I see RJ will be a Knick forever. Keep RJ from Felix. Camario says hell no. Roger says no. Big Shiesty says no. Big L says no. Kevin says no way. Doesn't seem like anyone. Mikey says no, yes, I don't know anymore. Tricky Nicky, RJ's a keeper. Monty says no. Slick Rich says no. Jose says no. Malicious, RJ ain't going nowhere. Pablo says Rose knew they wouldn't take that offer. Isn't it kind of wild that Danny Ainge turned down a trade offer from RJ Barrett and 2 first-round picks for Donovan Mitchell? I'm shocked. I thought that would have got the deal done. If I'm Danny Ainge, I don't think you're going to get a better deal than that. Why would you not accept a deal like that? Weigh in here, Seeps.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask you first. Is there a better offer on the market? Like, there's no way there's a better offer than RJ Barrett and 2 unprotected first, right?
Not a chance.
I just think he had his best offer and he said no.
And what I heard from Jake Fisher today when I was listening to his podcast, he said that there was no intention for the Utah Jazz to keep RJ Barrett. It was if they were going to trade him, or trade for him, they would just trade him again and flip him for multiple first-round picks because he thinks he can get 2 first-round picks for RJ Barrett. So if you think RJ Barrett can net you 2 first-round picks, Danny Ainge, and we also offered you 2 unprotected picks, why did you not make the move? Does he really want to trade Donovan Mitchell? I believe he does. I think he's just being stingy, and he's waiting for the perfect offer, and he's keeping all of us Knicks fans on our toes. Let's show RJ some love, though, for signing that 4-year, $107 million deal, which can come up to $120 million if he reaches incentives like All-NBA, All-Star, All-NBA defensive team. There's incentives in his contract to get up to $120 million. Right now, RJ Barrett is making about $27 million per year, whereas a guy like Ja Morant, Zion Williamson, and Darius Garland signed deals for 5 years and $185 million. That is $37 million per year. So right now, RJ is making 10 less than Ja, 10 less than Zion, and 10 less than Darius Garland. And I personally think that is an absolute steal. What do you think, Seeps?
I was going to say, that might have to be the best deal on the market right now. Like, talk about, like, bang for your buck. You get a 22-year-old entering his prime at, what'd you just say the annual was?
27.
At 27 for NBA superstars, that's, like, criminally low.
In 3 years, RJ Barrett could potentially be the biggest steal of a contract in the NBA.
Easy.
And when he's 25, 26, averaging 23, 24 points per game, and he's an all-star, and you're only having to pay him $27 million, that's the type of deal that Steph Curry got when he was going through those ankle injuries that allowed the Golden State Warriors to build a contender around him when he was on that 4-year, $44 million deal. I know the numbers are a lot different, but RJ at 27, that's a freaking steal. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but the last 2 years of his deal, it could arguably be said that that is the most valuable contract in the NBA. Monty says it's a fair deal. Reggie Jones, my guy. What up, brother? He said he's a real one. Yes, you are, Reggie. Reggie got things rolling last week. Or I guess that was the nightcap.
Yeah, Reggie finished it off
Reggie finished it off last week. Reggie, I was hurting after that. I'll tell you that much. A lot of 9s coming in the comment section. That's what I like to see. Someone earlier asked if we're taking shots. And you know that's what we do here on New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. We like to inform, we like to entertain, and we like to party because that's what's fun. It's fun about talking about the Knicks. It's fun when you get to party. So if you want a super chat, every super chat gets a shout out. You get up on screen. If you have a question, we'll answer it. We'll talk a couple minutes, 3-4 minutes about any question you got. Every $10 super chat equals a fireball shot. Got it on deck, a new bottle, ready to crack it open. Every $100 in super chats equals 4 fireball shots. Every 100 likes equals a fireball shot. We're at 250 people watching right now and just 40 likes. Those are rookie numbers. Let's get those numbers up. Get your numbers up. Pump those numbers up. Let's ride. Hit that like button. Seeps is telling me in my ear, we got to get to 100 likes right now or we're not moving on in the show. 252 people watching, 51 likes. Let's get to 100. That is not even a 50% completion percentage.
Should we just end the stream if we don't get to 100?
If we don't get to 100 likes, should we end the stream? If you've liked the video, type me in the comment section. I'll give you a shout out. Like the video, type me in the comment section if you liked it. I'll give you a shout out. How about that? Shout out to Knicks Galaxy. William, Ait, Eddie, Ezekiel, S. Brooklyn, Will Latimer, Frank, Devin, Felicia, JJ, King Pose, True Knicks fan, Monty, John, Reggie, Steven. We're 18 likes away. Let's go. Hit that like button. My guy Frank, my guy Devin, John. What up, John? Good to see you, brother. Reggie Jones, 4-3. Steven Vargas, my guy D. Brown. We are 10 likes away. Let's go. Let's get to 100 likes. I'm just going to pour up a shot because I know Knicks Now real ones are going to answer the bell for once we get to 100 likes. Come on. 5 likes away. I'm going to pour up the shot, and we'll roll. Mark says, about to hit you with a $100 super chat and end the show. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You send in a $100 super chat right now, and we can get wild. We got to 108 likes on the stream. Keep hitting that likes up button. Let's go. Oh, wow. That's good fireball right there. Nice and cold. Nice and cold. I don't believe you, Mark. You sent in a $100 super chat. You can get on this list because we had to cut down the super chat Ring of Honor from 10 to 50 because there was like 7 people that had sent $50 super chats, and I didn't want to not include everybody that did. So what we did and decided to do was just make it a more elite group. And right now, there's some dogs up there. Jason B. holding up 3 spots of the top 5 with a $100, a $70, $270. And then my guy Jack from overseas, he balled out last week, sending a $100 super chat. I think he also sent in like a 50. He was being a real one. Charles Palmels. That's the newest one to the club. He sent in a $100 super chat last week. He's a real one. Mark, if you want to be on this list next week, you just got to bump someone off. Soon enough, this will just be a $100 super chat list. Mark, I don't believe you, and I think you were capping. One thing Knicks fans don't do, they don't cap. Like my guy Jesus, who sends in a $10 super chat, getting things started. My guy, he says, hey, brother, love the fact that we signed RJ Barrett, but do you think we are still getting Donovan Mitchell? Because the Knicks would be crazy with him on the team, plus the anticipation is killing me. Seeps, if you want to answer this one first, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll hop in here. So, do you think we are still getting, I think it's going to definitely take a hefty offer now. I think you're going to have to include probably all 3 of Quickly, Obi, and Grimes. And me and Marsh will also pour one up for you. But I don't know. It's definitely going to be hard. And especially since Danny Ainge turned down the RJ Barrett and 2 unprotected. I mean, first off, who does he think Donovan Mitchell is?
Yeah.
Come on. I have no idea. Because Danny Ainge, I would have accepted that in a heartbeat, and he didn't.
Kind of shocking. Hey, Zeus. Hey, brother. Love the fact that we signed RJ. Yeah, I'm glad RJ's back. 4 years. Well, it's 5 years because the extension doesn't kick in till after next year. So he's under contract for 5 years. I do still think we get Donovan Mitchell. We have what they want. They have what we want. At the end of the day, a trade happens when that happens. Seeps, go to the trade offer. And I kind of want to just set the stage because people say, I want Donovan Mitchell, but at what price? Because I want to have a 6-pack. I want to be super swole and in great shape, but I like to party. I like to do stuff that doesn't make me in good shape. I like sweets. I like candy. I like milkshakes. So I may say I want something, but am I willing to do what it takes to get it? Because this is the trade offer the Knicks made a couple of days ago. Obi Toppin, Evan Fournier, additional salary, 2 unprotected picks, and 2 unprotected and 3 protected. 5 first-round picks in total, Toppin and Fournier. And Danny Ainge declined that trade offer. And then he declined a trade offer of RJ Barrett, 2 unprotected picks, and most likely Evan Fournier. So if he's going to decline that trade offer, you can go to that next one. That's fine. I think it's going to take something more. You're going to have to up your offer. If you really want Donovan Mitchell, you're going to have to push your chips into the middle of the table, and this is what a trade offer would have to look like, and I truly believe it. It would have to be Fournier, Toppin, those 2 unprotected picks that they declined. I think you got to up the ante. Would I do this trade? I would, because I truly believe Donovan Mitchell is special, and you don't win championships with really, really, really good role players. You win championships with stars. I'd hate to trade Quentin Grimes. I'd hate to trade Obi Toppin. But I truly believe if Leon Rose offered this trade right now, Danny Ainge would accept it. That would get you Fournier, Toppin, 3 unprotected, and 2 protected picks. Seeps, if you were Leon Rose, would you do this trade?
Listen, this is a tough trade to do, but it would be worth it for what I'm about to push across the screen right now, because this being your starting 5 makes it completely worth it. I mean, this is an elite. This is 5. I mean, obviously Julius Randle is still kind of a wild card here, but he is so talented still. This would be your potential starting 5. I would do it. I know it would be tough to give up the young guys, but damn, this is an elite starting 5.
So you would, if you did the trade, you'd still have 1 unprotected pick. You would still have, you're trading 2 protected, which means you'd have still 2 protected picks you would trade. Right now, you have 7 available draft picks or 11 available draft picks over the next 7 years. And if you trade 5 of them, 11 minus 5 is 6. So you'd still have 6 first-round picks over the next 7 years. And you would have a building block around your franchise of Jalen Brunson, just turned 26 years old today. RJ Barrett, 22. Donovan Mitchell, 25. And Mitchell Robinson, 24. To still go along with 6 first-round picks over the next 7 years. You would still have the assets to add to this roster to make another trade. And this wouldn't be the Carmelo Anthony trade because you would have a young core of Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, RJ Barrett, and Mitchell Robinson. That is 4 players that you can build around long term. Let me know. Let's go with the weigh-in right on this one, Seeds. Let's ask them if they would do this trade. Let me know, Knicks Now, real ones. Would you make this trade? Evan Fournier, Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin, 5 first-round picks, 2 protected, 3 unprotected. Would you make this trade? Type A for accept, type D for decline. Let me know if you'd make the trade. If you type D, that means you don't want Donovan Mitchell.
I'm curious because this is a hefty offer. Like, just giving up Grimes and Toppin, I think, will hesitate some people.
100%. But, Seeps, can you get Donovan Mitchell for a cheaper offer than this? No. And honestly, guys, I don't know if Danny Ainge accepts this deal.
I don't see. Like, he would probably want quickly too. Like,
another unprotected.
Yeah.
And I think this deal is fair for both sides. I truly think it's fair.
Yeah.
You have to spend money to make money. Like, I know a lot of people are typing D in the comments. But remember, if you type D, that means you do not want Donovan Mitchell. Because just last week, the Utah Jazz declined a deal of Obi, 2 unprotected, 2 protected, and Evan Fournier. On Monday, they declined a deal of RJ Barrett and 2 unprotected picks. So this, I think, is a little bit more than those offers, and I think this is the furthest that Leon Rose would go.
Yeah, I think this is. I mean, this has to be the Knicks' max offer right now.
I would not go any further. I would not go any further whatsoever. This is the furthest I would go in a trade. I type A for accept because you know what? I get Donovan Mitchell, I get RJ Barrett, I get Jalen Brunson, and I get Mitchell Robinson in their prime, and I still have 6 first-round picks over the next 7 years. Not to mention 11 second-round picks. We got a super chat from my guy, Jesus. He says, thanks. Love what you guys do. I love coming home from work to Knicks Now. Keep doing what you're doing. You guys are going to be big. I'll be there to support you guys. That is mad love. I appreciate you, Jesus. If you have any questions, ask them on the show. You don't even have to super chat because I know you're a real one. We'll put you on the show. Every $10 super chat, Jesus has already sent in 2 because he's a real one, MVP of today's show. Every $10 super chat equals a fireball shot. Let's ride. Monty
to
says
Jesus,
risky,
man.
but I would. What'd you say, Seeps?
I was just saying, shout out to Jesus. I love getting the super chats, and it's like, hey, coming home from work right
Yeah.
now. I'm watching you guys. I'm like, that's awesome. Like,
I also want to give a shout out to my guy, Jay Boogie Salute, 3 capital S's. He's in the chat. New York Knicks legend. Shout out to you, Jay Boogie, for supporting the show. I can't wait for the album to drop. Definitely going to get that when that happens. I do want to ask you guys a question. A little bit, change the pace up a little bit, because the NFL schedule's here. The NFL is here. Who is your NFL team that you're rocking with? Is it the Giants? Is it the Jets? Or is it somebody else? Type G for the Giants. Type J for the Jets. Type O for over. Jay Boogie is the GOAT. Dude, his voice, the way he speaks, I just feel smarter when I listen to Jay Boogie speak. Let me know. Who's your squad? Type G for the Giants. Type J for the Jets. Type O for other. Is that sub it not in there? Cool. Let me know. G for Giants. J for Jets. Or if you have another team, just type them in the comments and let me know who your squad is. I see some Giants in there. Okay. I see some Giants in the chat. I see some Jets. I see a Bills. I see a 49ers. Well, if you're a Giants fan, I want to do this right now. I'm putting the subscribe link. I run a Giants channel here at Chat Sports. I'm the host of our Giants channel. Very, very similar style of show to our Knicks channel. The link to our Giants channel is in the chat. And we just crossed over 11,000 subscribers on Giants Now. So if you love the Giants, I want you to subscribe to our channel. And I'll do this. I will do this. Everybody that subscribes to New York Giants Now and goes on the last video and comments Knicks, go on the last Giants video on Giants Now. The link to the channel is already on the in the chat. Go to the channel, click on a Giants video, and comment Knicks, and I will give you a shout out at the end of today's show. I think that's fair. We're trying to get our Giants channel to get some steam. It's not like Knicks Now. Knicks Now is a party, and I want Giants Now to be a party. So if you love the Giants, I want the real ones to go over there. Carl says, bruh, already subbed to Giants Now. I know you are, Carl, because I saw you in the comments section a couple days ago. It was awesome. I saw you there. Oh, another super chat from my guy Romello. He just sends in fire emojis because I think he means he wants us to take a fireball shot. I appreciate you, my guy. If you have a question about the Knicks, if you have a question about anything, ask me, please. I would love to answer it.
You guys should also see the setup Marsh and I have right now. We each have our separate bottles of Fireball, just taking shots back and forth. Cheers.
Maverick says he subscribed, my guy. Will said he subscribed. If you're subscribed to Giants Now, you're a real one. Oh, William from deep sends in a super chat. Romello, I appreciate you. Thank you. Let's ride. Let's go. Let's get it going. William with a $10 super chat says, final offer of Grimes and Obi or walk away. I'm right there with you, William. I would offer Grimes and Obi, but it is the absolute furthest I would go. I'm not including Grimes, Obi, and Quickly. I will not trade all three of the young kids I don't even want to say kids, the young men on this team. I'm not trading all three. I'll trade two, but I ain't trading all three.
What if you trade all three and it's only one unprotected? I don't think Danny Ainge would say yes.
Yeah, I don't think he would either. I'd probably do it. If it was one unprotected only and those three guys, I would do it.
And two unprotected.
No.
So that's where the line is?
Yeah. If I'm offering Grimes and Obi, the most I'm going is three unprotected. If I offer Grimes, Obi, and Quickly, the most I would offer is one unprotected.
Okay.
I want to ask you, William, How many unprotected picks? Because that's the holdup in this trade right now, guys. It's the number of unprotected picks. It's not the players. It's not the protected picks. It's the unprotected picks. So, William, thank you for the super chat, but now I'm making you a part of the show. How many unprotected picks would you add to a deal of Grimes and Obi? If you were offering Grimes and you were offering Obi, everyone let me know in the comments. How many unprotected first-round picks would you attach? Some of you I know wouldn't even trade Grimes and Obi, and I get that. I will not press you on it. But I want to ask you, what's the max number of unprotected picks you would add to a deal featuring Obi and as well as Grimes? I'm seeing a lot of threes in the chats. Big Pun says 1. Michael Watkins says 2. Will Latimer says 2. Lamar Jackson says 3. Artuo, my guy, he says 2 to 3. Nabar says 2 unprotected. Okay. You guys are hovering around 3 and 2. I'm going to take a shot for my guy, William. Shot for my guy, William. It's going to be a long night, I can already tell. Joel Santos says he's 1 penny short. We round up on Knicks Now. We round up. How many unprotected first-round picks are you willing to add to Obi and Grimes?
I would add 2. I think I agree
2?
with you. That's where I'll draw my line.
2? What if Ainge says 3 and it's a done deal? Obi, Grimes, Fournier, 3 unprotected picks, 2 protected. Done deal if you accept it right now.
Dude, you got to say yes, right?
You have to say yes.
Say yes. Like
you don't know what those draft picks will be. Ultimately, you trade for him. You trade for Donovan Mitchell, right? Those unprotected picks are in the late 20s, right? Mid-20s, early 20s, the 20s overall. That's where you got a guy like Emmanuel Quickly. That's where you got Quentin Grimes. Because you know what's the most important thing after you trade for a superstar? It's the following moves. What do you do to put a competitive roster around your team? Glenn Grunwald, he didn't do that after the Melo trade. He made dumb moves, trading for Andrea Bargnani, not including Iman Shumpert, and a Kyle Lowry deal. Trading for Tyson Chandler was dumb. Amnestying Chauncey Billups over Amari Stoudemire was dumb. It's the moves after you make a big move that are more important than the big move. Because if you get the big fish, but you don't got a grill, you don't know how to cut the scales off him, you don't know how to season that piece, the fish is going to suck. You got to be able to prepare the meal after you go and kill the food, if you get what I'm saying. That was a pretty good metaphor. Is that a metaphor or a simile? I think that's more of a metaphor.
Yeah, I think it's a metaphor. That was awesome, though.
Nabar says facts. Juan says fire Dolan. Let me know, how many unprotected first-round picks would you give up for Donovan Mitchell? Let me know. Good question. We got 382 people watching, 160 likes. We're about to get into a mailbag where we answer your questions. But I want to get to 200 likes right now. Let's do it. We got 390 people watching, 166 likes. Once you like the video, type me in the comments section, and I'll give you a shout out. If you haven't liked the video, stop being a fraud and hit that thumbs up icon. Let's roll. Let's get to 200 likes right now. If we can get to 200 likes in the next 15 seconds, I'll take 2 shots. If we can get to 200 likes in the next 15 seconds, I'll take 2 shots. We're 20 likes away, and we got 10 seconds. Let's roll. 7 seconds to go. We're 11 likes away. Hit that. We're 4 likes away. 13, 14, 15. Stop. Let's see what 201 likes. Let's ride. Knicks Now, real ones. They never, ever miss the bell. Let's ride. I'm going to throw back 2 shots. Not going to say what I said last week, which was super sus, which Seeps was trying to expose me. Might have forgot, but it'll happen sooner or later. I'm going to take 2 shots for the real ones. Woo!
And then I'll take a shot for the early MVP of today's show, Marsh.
He's back?
He's
Jesus!
back.
Let's go! Another $10 super chat from my guy Jesus. What up,
Cheers.
man? I'm going to take this one, and I'll take one more after we answer your question. Jesus says, 4 unprotected picks in Grimes, because I feel like Obi is going to be big, especially if we trade Randle, because, come on, we need to. I'm down with trading Randle. If we can get anything for Julius Randle, I would do it. But I'm not just going to dump him for nothing, because I think he can rebuild that trade value some this year with a point guard like Jalen Brunson. That's a good topic, though. I want to ask you guys, I'm going to try to, Jesus, the question you asked or said, kind of want to flip it onto you guys. Would you rather trade Obi, Grimes, and 3 unprotected, or Obi or Grimes and 4 unprotected? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What do you think you would rather do, Seeps?
I would rather do one of them and 4 unprotected, because you get a keep, one of the 2. It's pretty.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a solid deal. I think they would say no to either of them, though.
The only thing I would roll with, though, is if you trade all 4 unprotected, you're kind of in the Lakers spot that they are now, where you have your set roster, but it's hard to go and get that next guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you trade all 4, how are you going to be able to go and make a move for another superstar? Because let's be honest, we all want Donovan Mitchell, right? Everyone wants him at different prices. But at the end of the day, everyone would feel better if Donovan Mitchell was a Knick, right? So, but we also have to agree that he doesn't make you a finals contender. So there's still moves to be made. And remember, like I said, you don't want to go catch the fish and not have the equipment to go cook them up. So I would lean, honestly, more towards trading Obi, Grimes, and 3 unprotected compared to just Obi and Grimes and 4 unprotected. Because you gotta stay with the ability. You have to keep the ability to be flexible. Is kind of the word I'm looking for. Is in like a move for another deal. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying about being, because you don't want to be stuck.
You don't want this to be your last move.
Exactly. You don't want, like, oh, we're going all in on Donovan Mitchell, and then you lose in the second round, and you're like, well, how can we possibly get better?
And you're like, you can't go trade for anyone because you have no picks.
That's a good point.
And that's where the Lakers are right now. They're like, we want to go add Bojan Bogdanovic and Mike Conley, but we only have 2 first-round picks that we can trade all the way up to the year of 2029. That's in like 6-7 years.
Yeah. And plus, I feel like you still, if you keep Obi and Grimes, I'm not saying it's going to be tough for them to get touches necessarily, or if you keep either of them.
Their roles decrease.
Yeah, their roles decrease with Donovan Mitchell,
Yes.
100%. Like, so it would be tough for them to develop into their full potential if they're getting more touches. So that's a really good question, though. I want to know what Danny Ainge has to say to that question.
Luke says Grimes and 4, not Obi. Mr. Billy says that 3 you owe us. Oh, because we had some super chats come in. Let's ride. Mark, I called him a fraud a little bit ago because he said he'd super chat $100 and shut the show down. But he said, I'm a teacher waiting for that September check. Hope you have a good school year, my guy, coming up.
Yeah.
Well wishes to you. Stay safe out there. It's crazy sometimes as a teacher. Thank you for donating to the show, man. That goes a long way. That's real. $20. He said, hey, does Fireball sponsor y'all? They should.
Yeah.
The amount of Fireball we drink.
For real.
But no, we would love to get an alcohol sponsor. If anyone's got their own liquor out there, a Knicks Now real one, and they want to sponsor the show, hit me up. We can get it cooking.
Yeah, but shout out to all the teachers out there. That's sick. One of the more challenging and underappreciated
underappreciated,
jobs.
underpaid jobs.
Exactly.
I know when I was a kid in school, I got under some teachers' skin. So, Mark, thank you, my guy, for the super chat. Thanks for being a real one. And thank you for doing the Lord's work by being a teacher. 03 Stang GT. He sends in a 20-piece. He says, double shot. Okay, I'll take 2 because you and Mark each donated 20. I'll take 2 right now. 03 Stang. I'm just going to call you Stang. If you have a question, ask it, please. I'd love to answer your question. I'd love to chop it up with you about the Knicks. Woo! All right. If you have a question, Stang, you can get on the mailbag that we're about to do. We're about to get into a mailbag where I answer your guys' questions. We'll post it on the channel later in the week. So if you want to be on a video that goes on the channel, if you want me to answer your question about the Knicks, use hashtag Knicks in the comment section when you ask a question, and I'll answer it. We'll go for like 10, 12 minutes straight where we just answer questions. A lot of questions have already come in. Steve's is telling me in my ear, but we need some more. But you can super chat to skip the line. When you super chat, it brings you to the top of the line, and it guarantees you to get in the mailbag. Oliver, what up, my guy? Monty asks a question. Monty, I appreciate you. Love answering your questions. I think you got a pretty good BBIQ. I'm always down to chop it up about the Knicks with you. If anyone's got a question, Carl, ask a question. Alvaro says, my guy is feeling the liquor. We're just getting started. We are literally just getting started, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, get those questions in there, though, because I've seen a lot of good questions without the hashtag Knicks. And Credit Clear North with the super chat. I think that would be a good one to start our mailbag off with.
Credit Clear, we will start the mailbag with your question. GMB Jeff says, I ask question you ignore. Use hashtag Knicks, my guy, and I will make sure it gets on this mailbag. Right now, Jeff, ask a question, use hashtag Knicks, and we'll include it. Shout out to Romello. Shout out Artuo. You ask a question, but you didn't include hashtag Knicks. You got to, just like it is on the screen right here, where it says hashtag Knicks, you got to do that in the comment section. Hashtag Knicks. Shout out to Matt Shaw. Before we get into the mailbag, continue to ask your questions. I want to go through some quotes of what Jake Fisher said today in his podcast about the latest Knicks news and rumors. I think it's pretty important to break down. So keep asking questions. Caleb says, answer the question. Who the F cares, my guy?
I care, Caleb, because it makes it easier on me. It pulls it into our software if you guys use hashtag Knicks. If you guys just ask them, it kind of just gets lost in the oblivion. Exactly. So, yeah, use hashtag Knicks, Caleb.
Since Caleb's such a smart guy, the only way you can get your question up on screen is by typing hashtag Knicks. Shout out to our technology. So if you don't want your question on screen, be like Caleb. Don't type hashtag Knicks. But this is what Jake Fisher said. He was asked about Donovan Mitchell and everything going on. This is what he said. The Knicks seem to think the ball is in the Utah Jazz's court. And I've heard from various people around the league that Utah has been the team that has backed away time and time again when talks have intensified and things have gotten to the 1 yard line. The last person I spoke to today said, sure, anything is possible. It could happen before the weekend. Seems like we're kind of at an impasse after the holiday. People will regroup. I have no concrete sense on will talks be revisited. It really seems like we're at an impasse because both teams aren't budging and someone is going to have to. One side is going to have to swallow their pride. Pause. I'm really curious to see when the staring contest comes to a close. It really does seem like it's Utah's next move now. I haven't contemplated too much of a future without Donovan Mitchell being traded to the Knicks. I really do think and am operating under the assumption that that's going to get done at some point between now and the trade deadline. I think it is virtually impossible at this point from conversations I've had today that a Donovan deal gets done with RJ included. Though everyone's still kind of expecting Donovan Mitchell to end up in New York. So what did all that mean? Doesn't sound like RJ Barrett's going to be a part of the deal. Both sides still seem somewhat motivated. The Knicks think the ball is in the Jazz court, but the Jazz have been the team that, how can I just say this? The Knicks have been the team that have pulled away from deals. Is that what it sounded like to you when it got to the 1 yard line?
Yeah, it kind of also sounded like, I don't know, it seems like the Knicks know their worth a little more.
They have a point that they will not cross.
And
same with the Jazz. They've set their line, and sounds like they don't want to pass that. But they both want what each other have.
But the thing is with the Jazz, why are they going to be so concerned over 2 compared to 3 unprotected? Like, I feel like they're just putting too much value into those picks because, I mean, the Knicks, those picks are going to be in the 20s anyways.
You think so. You hope so. I don't know. Sean Hayes, my guy, is in the chat. Sean, we're about to get into a mailbag. If you can ask a question, that would be awesome. GMB Jeff, ask a question because you said I ignore yours. Carl asked a question. Let's do it right now, though. Let's get into a Knicks mailbag right now where we just answer questions that you guys asked. If you want to be on the show, what's up? Hashtag Knicks or Super Chat. Every Super Chat is guaranteed to get on the mailbag, and you will skip to the front of the line. We are also at $99 in Super Chats. We are $1 away from getting to $100 in Supers, and once we do, we're going to have to take some shots. 4 shots once we get to $100 in Supers. We are $1 away. Somebody do it. Someone put us over the top. And if you have a question with it, we'll answer it in this mailbag. Super Chat, hashtag Knicks, $1 away from $100. Let's ride. You ready, Seeps? All righty. Hashtag Knicks or Super Chat to get on this mailbag right now. What's going on, Knicks fans? You're watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We're about to get into a
Stop. We have to stop. I'm sorry. I had to call it.
Jason. Show the Ring of Honor first, because we were about to just do a cut that was going to go on the channel, and Jason B said, watch this. Jason B is going to have, well, he's going to knock himself off of the leaderboard because he just sent in a $101 super chat. And he said, Seeps needs to do the boot. Okay, I do want to answer the question that he asked in the mailbag, though, because it's a really good question. We also got a couple more super chats. Let's save. Okay, this is what we're going to do, guys, okay? I think we do the mailbag.
Yes.
And then I think we drink for all the super chats after.
I agree.
Is that cool?
Yes.
Is everyone cool with that? We got a super chat from Jason, Credit Clear, Jesus, Knicks Galaxy. Shout out to everybody that super chat. Is that okay? Is it cool if we go and answer questions straight for 10, 12 minutes and then come back to drinking? John Murdoch sent in a $10 super chat. Oh,
my God.
The super chats are rolling in. Okay.
Okay, all right.
Let's get into this mailbag. Yeah. I'm going to take a shot for all the real ones so I can be loose for the mailbag. Jason B said that works. Jason, what you say goes.
Yeah, shout out to Jason. Wow, that just, I mean, I saw it come in. I just said to tell Marsh, hey, hold on.
I'm literally, I got locked in. I'm like, all right, we're about to get into this mailbag, and boom, didn't even let me.
Nowhere. Jason is different from my, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's
we're going to start with all the super chats. Let's do about 10, 12 minutes if you want to get a timer out. We don't have to go too long.
Yeah.
All right. Now that super chats have come in, that means there's a lot of questions to be answered. If you have a question, hashtag Knicks. Good luck on being an answer because there's so many in the queue. You may have to super chat. I hate doing that, but that's just the way it is. We got to show love to people that super chat. So let's get into a Knicks mailbag take number 2. Hopefully someone doesn't send a $100 super chat and we got to stop mid-cut. If you do, I think we can make up for it. But let's roll. Here we go. Knicks Now, mailbag right now. Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We're about to get into a Knicks Mailbag where I answer your guys' questions, which aired on our live show, which happens every single Wednesday at about 5 Central, 6 Eastern. So subscribe and turn your notifications on so you can join us when we're live, because we only answer questions from subscribers. Let's get to 14 or 13,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Shout out to my guy Credit Clear North with a $10 super chat. He says Fournier, Obi, or Grimes and 3 unprotected picks. So Fournier, Obi, or Grimes and 3 unprotected. Nothing more. It's getting to the point where we just fall back and see what our current roster can do until the closer to the trade deadline. Okay, Seeps, pull up the trade offer that came from Shams, and then we'll hit the weigh-in right. This will be a good question. So you say Fournier, Obi, or Grimes and 3 unprotected. Let's go back 6 days ago. Remember Shams Charania reported that the Knicks offered this trade. Obi, Fournier, and 5 first-round picks. 2 protected. The Jazz, they said no. Which means if you want Mitchell, you got to up your deal. I don't know if you just add 1 more unprotected pick to this, it gets done. I would go as far to say Danny Ainge probably wouldn't make that deal. I think he wants Grimes. I think he wants Obi. Tony Jones of The Athletic reported that the Jazz value 3 players on the Knicks roster. RJ, Obi, and Quentin Grimes. RJ's off the table after the contract negotiation or the extension. So I think a trade would have to look like this. I think it would have to be Evan Fournier, Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin, 5 first-round picks, and 3 protected. I think you got to go up to 3 unprotected, and 2 protected. I think you will have to include Quentin Grimes and Obi Toppin, as well as 3 unprotected first-round picks to get this trade done. It's at the very bottom of the sheet. So I want you guys to weigh in the comment section right now. We'll just verbally do it. Would you make this trade? If you were Leon Rose, would you make this trade? Remember, they already turned down a deal of RJ Barrett and 2 unprotected, as well as Obi, Fournier, and 2 unprotected. Type A for accept or D for decline if you would make this deal on the screen right now. A for accept, D for decline. Light up the comment section. Shout out to my guy Jason B., who is a legend here at New York Knicks Now. A $101 super chat and says, Seeps need to do the boot. We'll see. He said he may not be able to do one today. I don't know. But he says, Donovan, I would cap the offer at Fournier, 2 of Grimes, Toppin, and Quickly, 2 unprotected, and 3 protected picks. 2 little playing time for everyone we have. I like that offer. So let's say the offer is Fournier, Grimes, and Toppin, because that's who it's going to be. They don't value Quickly according to Tony Jones. So you do Fournier, Grimes, and Obi, 2 unprotected and 3 protected. I would do that deal in a heartbeat, Jason B., and that is the furthest that I would go, kind of like you're saying. The question is, would Danny Ainge do that deal? I think he'd try to pry you for another unprotected pick. But I think Leon Rose, Leon the Don, give him some love in the comment section, will stand pat, stand strong, and say, because it sounds like the Knicks don't want to go more than 2 unprotected. So I like your offer a lot. I would make that offer, and that's probably the furthest I would go as well, my friend. Jason B., salute. You're a legend. Hey, Zeus with a $10 super chat, my guy. It's just a super chat sack. He says, another question. If we do get Donovan Mitchell, what would the lineup be like? So let's assume, right, that Grimes and Obi are in the deal, because I truly believe they're going to have to be in the deal. If Obi and Grimes are in the deal, and it's going to be Fournier for salary filler, this is your starting 5 right here. You got Jalen Brunson at 26 years old. You have Donovan Mitchell at 25 years old. You have RJ Barrett at 22 years old. You have Julius Randle at 27 or 28, 26. He's one of those. And you got Mitchell Robinson at 24 years old. This would be your starting 5. And you would still have a bench of Derrick Rose, Emmanuel Quickly, Cam Reddish, Isaiah Hartenstein, Jericho Sims. Maybe you go out and sign a guy like Carmelo Anthony. You can fill out this roster if you trade Obi and Grimes. There's no doubt about it. And you have a young core of Brunson, Mitchell, Barrett, and Robinson who are 26, 25, 24, and 22. I do the deal. It's a Stars League, man. And Donovan Mitchell, he's a frickin' star. I want you guys to be stars. Be real ones. And subscribe to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports because we're trying to get to 13,000 subscribers on the channel. We are less than 100 subscribers away. So if you love the Knicks, you hate the Sixers, you hate the Celtics, and you're looking for a one-stop shop on YouTube that puts out Knicks videos every single day, I want you to hit that big red button right now. OG $10 super chat, my guy. He says, if we give away Grimes, then that means we should get to see if Cam is the man. I think you're 100% right. I think if you trade Quentin Grimes, I think Cam Reddish gets a bigger role. I'd hate to see him go, but at least we have Cam here. Also, with Obi gone, then Melo will be on the way. I'm right there with you. I think if the Knicks trade Obi Toppin in a Donovan Mitchell trade, I think Carmelo Anthony is going to come to the Knicks, put on that number 7, and finish his last year wearing the orange and blue. I think you're right on the money there. I think Melo will be a Knick if the Knicks trade for Donovan Mitchell. I also like your thought process of if we give away Grimes, then that means we should get to see if Cam is the man. All the untapped potential that everyone tells me that Cam Reddish has, and I see it. He's a tough bucket getter. He's a tough shot taker and maker. 6'9", silky smooth handle. Finish with the left, finish with the right, pull up from 30. Anthony Edwards said he's the best player he's ever had to guard in his NBA career. There's no doubt Cam Reddish has potential. And by trading Quentin Grimes, who I think is a better player because he's a better shooter from 3 and a better defender, you will get to see more of Cam Reddish, and hopefully he reaches that potential. OG, great question. I think you're right on the money. Cam gets more minutes, and you get to see more Melo. I think that'd be pretty damn cool. Ralph Alexander, a $10 super chat. He said, I feel like this Mitchell drama needs to be deaded because Ainge is wanting too much. Run what we got and wait for another disgruntled all-star superstar and bring Randle's value up. I think that's the move. I think, Ralph, you're 100% right. And I think Leon Rose has drawn a line in the sand and said, I will not go further than what I have. And supposedly that deadline was Monday night. But reports are saying the trade talks are still going on. I truly believe that Leon Rose will not go over his line and in what he thinks is too much. And if you don't, play the young guys. See what you have in Grimes. See what you have in Reddish. The only thing I would rebuttal with, Ralph, is you kind of still have a log jam because Obi's on the bench, Reddish or Grimes is still on the bench. You got Rose and you got Quickly. You got Isaiah Hartenstein, Jericho Sims. There's a lot of young players on this team, and I don't know if there's enough minutes for everybody. At some point, the Knicks will have to consolidate assets. They have 10 players younger than 26 on their roster, and they have 22 draft picks over the next 7 years. At some point, you have to consolidate rosters, and hopefully, if it's not for Mitchell, it's for the next disgruntled all-star superstar. Don't overpay because someone will become available in the coming days, weeks, and months. Ralph, great question. I want to ask you this question, though, Ralph. If the Knicks do not get Donovan Mitchell, let's say if they have to run it back with Brunson, Barrett, Randle, Grimes, Obi, Fournier, the squad we have right now. 39.5 wins without Donovan Mitchell. Be a genie. Tell the future. O for over, U for under, sound off. Shout out to D Brown. Can we really do this deal and keep Obi? Obviously, Randle is getting traded sooner or later, and Obi is a soon-to-be stud. D Brown, the only way you get to keep Obi Toppin is if you trade Quentin Grimes and you trade 4 unprotected picks. That's really what I think it is. Because why would Danny Ainge accept a deal without Obi Toppin or Quentin Grimes? Because look, if you're not willing to trade RJ Barrett, or he's not in the deal, that means the Knicks aren't trading their best asset. And if you're not willing to give all 4 unprotected first-round picks, that means you're not willing to trade your draft capital. You can't also not be willing to trade your second and third most important trade chips. That's just not how business works. Like I said, I want to have really big biceps and have an 8-pack, but I like candy and I like milkshakes. I want it, but I don't do what is necessary. If you want Donovan Mitchell, I need everyone to understand, you will have to give up Grimes and Obi. I truly, truly believe that. Rich Rob is in the house, my guy. Whew, good to see you, brother. He says, how about Mitchell for Fournier, Reddish, IQ, and McBride plus 2 unprotected, 3 protected, I don't think they do that deal. Because you got to remember what comes out. The article came out from The Athletic that the Jazz value 3 players on this roster. RJ, Obi, and Grimes. And if none of those guys are on the deal and the best player you're trading is IQ, you're going to have to give up all 4 unprotected. And then at that point, I don't even know if that's enough. Obi or Grimes 100% have to be in the deal, and I think they both will have to be a part of this deal for it to get it done. Rich, thanks for being a real one. I appreciate the $10 super chat. Also, if you have to bet on the NBA, bet on the NFL, you want to bet on playoff baseball, do it with our proud sportsbook partner, BetUS. When you go to chatsports.com/bet and you plug in the promo code chat125 right here, when you go to chatsports.com/bet, they're going to match your deposit with a 125% deposit bonus. They are literally going to give you free money to place bets on their site. Put in $100, they'll give you a free 125 doll hairs. Yeah, 125 bucks for free. Do it today. Get hooked up. Chatsports.com/bet, promo code chat125. Peter, should Knicks use Ainge's arrogance against him and simply wait to trade for Donovan Mitchell until the season starts to trade Randle for picks to LA or Charlotte and try to keep all the young ones? Sometimes, though, I think when you sit on your hands for too long, you sometimes can miss an opportunity. And I don't want the Knicks to have that happen. Because I think Danny Ainge and using his arrogance against him is a good point. But I think Danny Ainge is the type of arrogant fella that he might take less from another team if the Knicks try to spite them. I think he's that type of dude. I think he's that type of arrogant. He's a clown. Type FDA in the comments. Let's get the FDAs going. But wait. I'd be down to wait, but is that really going to decrease his value? I don't know. And also, trading, it sounds like the Lakers are not interested in Julius Randle. I think Charlotte is the only team that makes sense for Julius Randle, but we haven't heard anything that suggests that. We're just connecting dots because that shithead did that thing he did and got himself out of the league. I won't say his name, but he did what he did, and now the Hornets need a power forward. So connecting dots, yes, the Hornets need a power forward, but we haven't heard a thing about them wanting Julius Randle. I don't think Randle's value across the league trade-wise is that high. He's going to have to play his value up, and maybe he has an opportunity to do it this year with Jalen Brunson, a true point guard. Peter, great thoughts, great questions. Last question on this mailbag from my guy Michael. Marshall, who do you think is in the driver's seat, and what is the most unprotected picks you would send to Utah? I think there's a difference between leverage and driver's seat. Driver's seat, meaning who's the top team to trade for Donovan Mitchell? I think it's the Knicks. But between the Knicks and the Jazz, who's in the driver's seat? I think it's the Jazz because they have the player that we're trading for, right? They get to decide if the package is enough. So while I think the Knicks hold the leverage, the Jazz are the team that's holding this deal up. So the most unprotected picks I would trade is 3. I'm not going higher than 3. My offer today would be Obi, Grimes, 3 unprotected, and Evan Fournier. And if they don't take that deal, I say, Danny Ainge, piss off, go F yourself, and I roll into the season with the youngsters on this team and try to wait for the next star to get going. Before we get out of this show, though, I know we just said F Danny, but let's kind of flip it. Let's type thanks Danny in the comment section. You might be saying, Marsh, why are we typing thanks Danny? And it's because of this. He declined a trade that had RJ Barrett and 2 unprotected first-round picks. And I know all of you out there don't want to trade RJ Barrett and 2 unprotected picks. So for Danny Ainge turning down the offer of RJ Barrett and 2 unprotected picks, I want to say thanks, Danny. Danny, thank you for being an arrogant idiot that turned down a trade offer for RJ Barrett. Type thanks, Danny, in the comment section. Also, if you made it this far in the video, that means you're a real one. Drop a real one in the comment section so I can show you some love in the comments. I like to decipher between the real ones and the fake ones. So if you're a real one, drop a real one in the comments right now. Yes, sir. Thanks, Danny. F Danny Ainge, but also thank you for being an arrogant, greedy. Can you say the P word on YouTube? P-R-I-C-K? Yeah, can you say that on YouTube? I don't know. Yeah, thanks for being an arrogant prick, Danny Ainge. How about that? What happened? Is it? Another super chat from my guy Marcel. He was holding us down when we went live from the crib the other night, and we were live at 2 a.m. Eastern time breaking down an RJ Barrett extension. He says, Marsh, what's good? My guy, good to see you. Hope you're having a good one. Also, another $10 super chat from Jesus. He's a real one. He says, thanks, Danny. Yeah, Danny, thank you for not accepting a trade for RJ Barrett. Because, guys, I would have been in shambles if the Knicks traded RJ Barrett.
And also, honestly, I think the deal that the Knicks offered of RJ and 2 unprotected, honestly, the Jazz are winning that deal, in my opinion. Like, obviously, they're giving up Donovan Mitchell, but, like, come on. I was shocked.
I thought that was – I thought if you added RJ and you added any first-round picks to him, I thought it would have got done.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm really shocked that Danny Ainge said no to that because especially, like, if they're playing the new, like, I don't know, all-star games in Utah, if they want an all-star in Utah for that game, RJ could potentially be an all-star this year.
Especially if he's the only guy on Utah.
He would average 25, 6, and 5.
Yeah. All righty. How many shots do I owe?
Well, we got another one coming in here, so we owe a lot.
Another $10 super chat. New subscriber. You're hilarious. F Danny. Let's show Mark some love in the comment section. A new subscriber to New York Knicks Now. He's a real one. Shout out to you, my guy.
Marsh, who's the shot counter in the chat? Do you remember?
Pro Rican. I didn't see him in this week's chat, and I didn't see him in last week's chat. We are going to do this, though, real quick, because we have over 500 people watching right now. Are you in the weigh-in sheet?
No, I'm not.
Okay. If you're a subscriber, I want you to type me in the comment section right now. If you are a subscriber, I want you to type me in the comment section.
Rich Rob says, put out an APD on my guy Pro Rican.
Pro Rican is our official shot counter. If you are a subscriber, check the weigh-ins at the very bottom. Did we get another super?
From our guy.
Jesse, my guy. He says, it's your favorite Jazz fan, Dunzo. Dunzo, I love your stuff on Twitter, but I didn't even know what to say, man. It's your favorite Jazz fan. I know I give you and Knicks fans a lot of shit, but it's all good. Appreciate your grind and the content you put out for the Knicks fan base. Respect. That, I'm giving you a handshake because I love your Twitter account. It's actually just a weigh-in. Sorry, I put it as a weigh-in option. But
you got to move it over then.
No, it should be good. Okay, hold on. I can't believe you're in the chat right now. I love what you do because your Twitter account is awesome for Jazz fans, and it's cool for me. You honestly help me out a lot. I like how I think you are, like, if Knicks Twitter had someone like you, I think it'd be a better place. I do want to ask you, though, are you cool with going into the season with Donovan Mitchell? I know you say it on Twitter you are, but do you really want to go into the season with Donovan Mitchell? Because, look, I hope you're still watching the show. I hope you are. I think there's two different paths right here. People say, and I've heard you aggregate some stuff from Tony and stuff like that, of the Jazz. There's two different sides. The Athletic, they say that the Jazz are willing to keep him, to build around him, and build a contender. I don't believe that whatsoever. What I do believe, though, is that the Jazz are willing to hold on to Donovan Mitchell to trade him. Does that make sense? I think there's a difference there. Seeps, you get what I'm saying?
Say it again.
So I think the idea that the Jazz are willing to keep Donovan Mitchell to build around him, I think that's bullshit.
I agree.
But I do think that the Jazz are willing to hold on to him to trade him at a later date.
I could see that.
But you hear from The Athletic that they're willing to keep him to build around him. The quote from Tony Jones was, they think they can get back to the team they were a couple of years ago, which was number 1 in the Western Conference, which I don't believe that whatsoever. No. But you had Woj on Monday night say that the Jazz are committed to a rebuild. So we have Woj being the mouthpiece for the Knicks, and we got the Athletic Shams and Tony Jones being the mouthpiece for the Jazz. Media manipulation at its finest. Yep. My guy Dunzo. He doesn't. I don't think he follows me on Twitter. I follow him because I like his stuff, but.
That's all. Well, I love that a Jazz fan can come in here and
we've got a lot of Jazz fans in here, and I don't ever want to make it sound like I'm pushing them away. Jesse, I hope you're in the chat. I hope you heard what I said. If you have a response, we'll put it up on screen. You don't got a super chat. We'll put it up on screen, though. Is this not coming in?
No, is that it?
It's supposed to be a weigh-in option. I have it in there, I thought.
Oh, you got to move them over 1 row to the right.
Brian says, I don't think Danny Ainge wants to risk him. It's in the right rows. What are we looking at it? You messed up the weigh-ins, bro?
I don't think so.
It's literally in there. How about this? I'll exit out of the sheet. You go look at it because it is 100% right. Dunzo, mad love to you. So we're caught up on all the soups. What's the shot count? What are we at? I know I owe at least 4 for getting to 100 and another 4 for getting to 200. All right. We'll put the Dunzo. Thank you. Awesome. We'll get those up on screen in a second. It's right. Is it not synced? Because it was definitely right. Oh, it says syncing on mine. It's going to fuck up. It's going to fuck it up. The Wi-Fi here sometimes is cheeks, man. I'm just going to pause it. How about that? 30 minutes. Pause, and I just started it. Pause indefinitely. Is it synced now?
Yo, he is
Reggie,
come on.
the silent assassin, Reggie Jones. Oh. Reggie, why do you never ask a question? Because.
Oh my God, Reggie.
The $110 super chat from Reggie Jones. That gives him the #1 spot on the Ring of Honor here at New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. Holy Toledo.
Marsh, we're going to have a lot of shots, though. Mr. Billy Valdez. Wow. Reggie, that's awesome. MVP Reggie.
MVP. Reggie from deep.
Oh, my God.
Bang! All right. Go to,
wow.
Jason B says, nice, Reggie. Jason B, you got a competitor, man. He's taking you off the top spot of the Ring of Honor. Pull up Jesse Dunn's questions. The first one I want to go to is, I don't think the Jazz have any. If you see that. Probably a minute ago. Reggie Jones, I don't know how many shots we owe, but I'm just going to take a couple right now. So I know I owe this. 4 for getting to 100. Another 4 for getting to 200. Another 4 for getting to 300. That's 4, 8, 12. 12 shots. Do you have one on general or no?
Yeah, I got it. You said Jesse?
Jesse Dunn. It's right after Travis Smith and in between Nabar. It says, I don't think the Jazz have any intention. No deal?
Oh, dang. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, there's 2 of them. I don't think. All right. Jesse, I appreciate you. Love chopping it up. We got a Jazz fan, Jesse, here. Give Jesse some love. He's probably the best Jazz follow on Twitter. Because I don't think the Jazz have any intention of keeping him long term. They know he has 1 foot out the door, but I have it on good authority that the Jazz are good with keeping him into the season if it means that that they will get, push it across, Seeps. It's a two-part question. It means that they will get what they want out of him down the road. They are willing to sacrifice the full tank to get the long-term value. I believe that. I truly believe that. I believe that they are willing to hold on to him going into the season. But I'm right there with you, Jesse. There's no way. I don't care who tells me. Woj could tell me. Shams could tell me. The tea leaves say that they do not want to keep Donovan Mitchell to sign him to a contract extension when he becomes a free agent in 2025. There's no way. I mean,
Jesse, is there any truth to the Jazz wanting to keep on to or hang on to Donovan Mitchell until the All-Star game, you think? Like, I wonder if that plays that much of a factor. Like, yes, if for anybody who doesn't know, the All-Star game is in Utah this year, and obviously not having a All-Star in your home city is incredibly disappointing. So I wonder if that plays any factor into it.
Yeah, I think that's a piece, but if I'm a GM, I'm not holding on to a player when I know I can make my team better now and in the future, or in a better position now to be better in the future. I think, Jesse, I think you're right, man. I am right there with you. There's no way they are willing to think that the quote that Jesse, there's another one from Jesse at the very bottom if you want to put that up. He says, I think that was a factor at one point. I think Danny Ainge convinced our ownership to change his mind on that. When the Gobert trade happened, I think that pretty much went out the door. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Jesse, I appreciate your insight, and I love the stuff you do on Twitter, man. Shout out to you, bro. I think for the most part, we're on the same. Jesse, what about this? Last thing from Jesse, and Jesse, if you want to hashtag Knicks ask a question, we can do that. I'll ask you this, and I want to pop this up on question. Pop up the trade with the 3 unprotected. The Knicks trade offer, the Donovan Mitchell trade offer. Because Jesse always, and I'm right there with you, Jesse. Knicks fans say, we're not giving you RJ, we're not giving you Obi, we're not giving you Grimes, we're not giving you the unprotected. That's not how a trade works. You got to give some to get some. So I want to ask everyone in the chat right now, especially Jesse, let me know. Jesse, would you make this trade from a Jazz standpoint? Evan Fournier, Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin, 2 protected picks, and 3 unprotected picks. Jesse, if you were Danny Ainge, or do you think Danny Ainge would accept a trade like this? 3 unprotected, 2 protected, Grimes, Obi, and Evan Fournier. Do you think Danny Ainge would make this trade? Do you think he would accept it? Anyone can sound off. Type A for accept, type D for decline if you would make that trade. Jesse says, yeah, I would. I have always said the baseline for a trade was Grimes, Obi, and 3 unprotected and a filler. Honestly, this is the furthest I would go. I'm not willing to go any further, and I'm one of the bigger Donovan Mitchell guys out there. I don't necessarily know how much he affects a winning team. I mean, he's a walking 25-point bucket. The advanced analytics do say he's not that much of a wins and loss determiner, but I'm right there with you. I think that's a fair deal for both sides. I really do. I think that's fair. If DeJounte Murray went for 3 unprotected first-round picks and Danilo Gallinari, I think it's fair for Obi, Grimes, and 3 unprotected for Donovan Mitchell. I think that's fair. All right, so we owe 12 shots. That's what we're going to boil it down to. And we're also 1 like away from 300 likes on the stream. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up icon because we got to take some shots. Because Reggie Jones sent in a $100 super chat. Jason B sent in a $100 super chat. We're working on the boot. We're getting the boot ready. But my guy Trace Gerard, the hardest working New Orleans Saints beat reporter in the game, he's coming to take a beer bong. How about that?
Why not?
A beer bong.
I'm a huge Knicks fan too.
He's a huge Knicks fan. He's going to, not even a beer bong, a truly bong.
Old Truly bong.
Jungle?
Fuck it.
A jungle.
Wait. You got 2 minutes to send in a $10 super chat. You send in a super chat. We're throwing in some.
If we want to make this a jungle beer bong, he says we got to get a $10 super chat. I call BS on that, but I'm sure a Knicks fan will answer the bell.
throw it in
Just
there.
answer the
Just
bell.
throw it
If
in
you're
there.
happy, it
I
happened.
don't even care. That's it. There you go.
Oh! Big L with the $115 super chat. Oh!
Hey!
Oh! All right. Trace is going to take this beer bong because he's a freaking animal. A truly bong with whiskey. Do I need to hold it? He doesn't need. He's a one-man band. He doesn't need anybody's help. Show him some love in the chat. Type T in the chat for my guy Trace. He just sank that like a wow.
Hey, a guy from Boston could never.
A,
Only New York.
a Celtics fan could never. Big L, $115 super chat. Wow. All right, let's answer the question, and then let's start, and then let's party. We answer the question, and then we party. He says, who would be at power forward to replace Randle if we did get Donovan Mitchell versus not getting Donovan Mitchell? Who would fit the Knicks best in that scenario? Drink up, guys. I'm going to have some Grey Goose. Get your Maurice Corette on. If you know, you know. Goose time. I'm going to have some Grey Goose shots with you. Love you guys. Keep up the great work. Best live channel. That is love right there. Big L. I wish I had a Big L right now. I'd be chiefing on that piece. Okay. My head is effed right now. I was not ready for that. All right. Who would be a power forward to replace Randle if we did get Donovan Mitchell? So I think the Knicks are going to run it with Randle at the 4 if they trade for Donovan Mitchell for one season. I truly believe that. There was an article a couple of days ago from Mark Berman. I almost said Chris Berman. Whoop! Hold on. I'm seeing some new stuff on. Okay. Let me answer this question. I'm seeing more new Knicks news and rumors that we're about to get to, but hold on. Who would be a power forward to replace Randle? I don't think we're replacing Randle at all this year. If we trade for Donovan Mitchell, I think Julius Randle is our starting power forward. If we don't trade for Donovan Mitchell, I think he's our starting power forward. I think at the trade deadline is when the Knicks will focus in on potentially dumping a guy like Julius Randle. There's no way you can just dump Julius Randle for nothing, right? See, you just can't.
Yeah, you can't. But
And if there was a trade out there to get an asset, they would have made it already.
Yeah, I think that completely. I mean, they're probably shipping Randle every chance they get. I think a potential replacement, though, and I think who would fit really well with the Knicks, would keep your eyes on Kyle Kuzma. I think Kuzma's kind of got that, obviously he was in L.A. He's got that big city with him. But if the Wizards are bad again, they would really have no reason to keep Kyle Kuzma. I think he would be a sneaky guy you could trade for potentially, but damn, shout out to you, Big L. That's some real love right there. I mean, that kind of came out of nowhere. Me and Marsh are pretty much speechless right now.
I think it's funny, and you probably don't even know that you did this. You bring up Kyle Kuzma. Who is Kyle Kuzma repped by? CAA. If you know, you know. He's a part of the CAA mafia.
Explain that to me. Dumb it down.
I'll dumb it down. Leon Rose. He was an agent before becoming a GM.
Okay.
He was at the top of CAA.
Okay.
His son works for CAA as an agent. He's an agent to Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's a CAA client. Donovan Mitchell is a CAA client. Julius Randle is a CAA client. That's why we call it the CAA mafia, because
that's interesting. I didn't know that.
it just always seems like the Knicks, since they've got Leon Rose in, have tried to bring in CAA clients. The only pushback I would have on Kyle Kuzma is I like the spacing he brings. I just think if you were going to roll with Mitchell, Donovan Mitchell, and Jalen Brunson, I think you have to have a stronger defensive-minded
true.
power forward.
That's a good
I
point.
think on the offensive side of the court, makes way more sense, right?
Yeah.
Big L saying, what about Christian Wood? I think Christian Wood has found his home in Dallas. I think Christian Wood is going to have a great season with Luka Doncic. Next question that you asked. Who would fit the Knicks best in that scenario? You want to know a guy that I think the Knicks are targeting in the coming years? And I truly believe this. Do I have sources on this? No. But if you connect the tea leaves, and every time a report about this player comes out, it's the Knicks would be the team willing to overpay. And that's Anthony Davis. I think the Knicks are going to target Anthony Davis once the Lakers move on or LeBron James moves on. I truly believe that he is the perfect type of power forward that you would want on this roster.
Is that why you're also hanging on to some of these unprotected?
Yes, because the move for the Knicks that they want to do is go trade for Donovan Mitchell, then be able to go make a trade for a third superstar between Brunson, Mitchell, and a third superstar. And then they want to sign someone in the summer of 2025 when the salary cap goes up $40 million because of the new TV deals. I think Anthony Davis is the power forward that Leon Rose has his eyes on. I really do. Like I said, no sources, no intel, but just following this team as close as I do. Remember, Anthony Davis had a list of 2 teams that he wanted to play with when he was back with the Pelicans. It was the Los Angeles Lakers, and it was the New York Knicks. I know Big L is saying he's too fragile. He is. But when Anthony Davis is right, he's a top 10 player in the league. And I know the best ability is availability. I always say that. I'm not saying they would do it. That's the guy I would go after. I know he's fragile, but I think he's the perfect type of power forward for this team.
The only I don't even know, kickback to that would be, I think Anthony Davis could fall off a cliff soon just because
I could see that.
Physically, so how many
beat
years
up.
down the line are you is this next season or is this the year
So
after?
let's play this out.
Yeah.
Lakers suck this year.
Yes.
What's the next move for the Lakers?
Clean house, man.
You clean house, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't have a first-round pick till 2027.
Yeah.
Who has first-round picks that can fill you up? The New York Knicks.
That's
If the
a good point.
Lakers are bad this year, I truly think they will trade LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Because why run it back a third year?
Yeah,
You can't. This is the last year for the LA Lakers to try.
That's
Rich
such a good
Rob
point.
says AD is made of peanut brittle. He is. But he was damn good in the bubble when he was healthy, wasn't he? Might have been the best player in that series over LeBron James.
He looked like the best player in the NBA. In the
If his
bubble.
name was LeBron James, he would have won Finals MVP.
But that's the thing when it's all about hooping and literally, could you imagine you're just at your little dorm and then you got to walk to the court there's no distractions you're only focused on hooping. Anthony Davis is fantastic.
I mean, what other power forward? It's hard. I mean, Jaren Jackson would be perfect, right? He ain't getting traded.
Aaron Gordon.
I like Gordon, but I don't think he's a max player, and that's the money he's getting right now from Denver.
Yeah, he's making way too. Kristaps coming back.
Kristaps, that's funny as shit.
Brandon Clark's an interesting one. He's only $4 million on the cap. Brandon Clark, the guy out of Memphis, you went to Gonzaga. He's an interesting physical kind of lob threat. Can't really shoot the ball, but he would be a solid role player to replace Randle.
Yeah. I think they're looking to make that power forward the next star spot. That's what I think.
Okay.
Big L, you have cemented yourself. Let's go to the Ring of Honor, because what we came into today's show was this as the Ring of Honor. And you guys said, I want to be on the top of it. Jason B came in with a $101 super chat,
Yep.
put him at the top. Reggie Jones, he sent in a $110 super chat. That put him at the top. And then Big L said, watch this, and sent in a $115 super chat. So next one, number one, Big L in the chat, number one. He's saying it, number one, baby. You are the number one in the Knicks Ring of Honor super chats.
I also can't get over Reggie. Just the silent
Dude, he doesn't say anything. He said, I love the show. I'm a supporter. and I love to see you guys
I
drunk.
want a simple, just, you know what? He keeps it simple. Reggie Jones, shout out to you. Shout out to Big L. Shout out to Jason B. I mean, shout out to everybody who's really.
Go grab the boot. I'll do this. Grab the boot. I'm going to pour for everybody, because I owe at least 12 shots right now, right? 12 shots. Just for the milestones we hit alone by getting, well, we're at 500 now. Shit. So we took one for $100 in supers, right? No? So we owe 20 shots right now. We owe 20 shots. Okay, let's figure this out, right? We'll do this. We'll make it a two-parter. Jonesy, do you got a boot in you? $235 in super chats by two people. 531 super chats on the stream. Slightly. That's why I just asked you. It's okay. Do y'all want Tyler Jones to come in here and do a boot? Do y'all want Tyler Jones to come in and do a boot? If you do, type TJ in the chat. Do you want Tyler Jones to come do a boot? Type TJ in the chat right now. Reggie Jones, we will get to your super chat in a second. Seeps, count me 10 seconds. All right? There are TJs rolling in the chat right now. They want the summer of Jones before it's gone. 10 seconds. Take us both full screen.
Okay, Marshy, okay.
10 seconds. 10 seconds.
All right.
Ready? Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Yo, Marsh, I'll pour a couple up with you as he looks. I was going to suggest maybe do we get to the mailbag before we start just turning this.
The summer of Jones is in the chat.
Carl just said the summer of Jones.
Jones, get that boot ready. Let's frickin' go. All right. I'm going to take this 10-second pull real quick for all the real ones. Show TJ some love in the chat while I do. I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Hold on. Get my Twitter in the chat. If I get 5 followers in the next 5 minutes.
Jeez, Marsh. You good?
See, put my Twitter in the
I
chat.
got you.
If I get 5 followers in the next 5 minutes. How's that feel?
Not good.
guys.
That frickin' sucked.
You like my extra push there?
Wow.
That was terrible. Did Chugs leave?
No, he's playing.
He's playing video games.
Tell him we need a boot from him.
Hey, also, Tyler Jones said he'll do a boot if he gets 5 followers in the next 5 minutes on Twitter. I'm going to be putting his Twitter link in the chat right now. I'll spam it in there a couple times. If he gets 5 followers, that's all we need. We just need 5 people. To
5
click that
followers
link.
and Jonesy will do a boot.
Just put it in there, easy. Go down there, show him some love. We'll shout you out. And you also see Tyler Jones delete a boot after Marsh just deleted 10 seconds of fireball shot. And it was you did that way too casually.
That was brutal, dude.
That was
my
Are
chest
you
is
good?
on fire right now.
You want a fan over it?
I got the fan. Yeah, I got the fan.
Jeez.
B. Willis says, what about Bam? Bam Adebayo would be the perfect player to be the center for the New York Knicks. But can Bam play the 4?
He can modern day NBA, man.
I would take him at center over Mitchell Robinson in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I almost just burped and I almost felt like I threw up. Alrighty. I need 5 followers for Tyler Jones so he can come do a boot. Let's get into a mailbag, though, right now.
We got a ton of questions still.
Okay. Actually, let's do this. We have 392 people watching right now. Let's do the type me.
If you guys are subbed, get in there.
If you are subscribed to the channel, I want you to type me in the comment section right now. I will give a shout out to everybody that does. If you are a subscriber to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports.
And actually, Carl, I'll answer your question real quick. He says, Seeps, what's the status on my boy Lonzo? Now, shout out to you for knowing I'm a Bulls fan, too. Really, we haven't really heard anything. I mean, I've heard that his rehab for his knee has gone just not as expected, and I really feel bad for him because he looked great last year. He looked great when he was playing for the Bulls. He was shooting like 40% from three, great 3-and-D point guard. I don't know. I mean, really, truthfully, I don't know. I mean, I saw him dancing at a wedding about a month ago, which gave me a little hope, but apparently his knee is still really messed up.
All righty. Jonesy said he needs 2 more followers at Tyler Jones Live.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
All right, I'm going to give a shout out to everybody that types me. The reason we're doing that is because we are 56 subscribers away from getting to 13,000 subs on the channel. I want to get there tonight. I know we can do it. Hit that big red button. Type me if you're a subscriber. Because Billy's a subscriber. Eric is a subscriber. Mark, G. Marley, Rich Robinson, Tricky Nicky, Elo, Big Blue, Jose, Artuo, Knicks Galaxy, Top Junkie, Nathaniel Alston, Webb, Fred Gaming, Big Pun, Diesel D, Carl, Mark, James, Reggie Jones, Jose De Niro,
Reggie.
Rich Rob, James, Harlem. BW says, I got 56 YouTube accounts. I will subscribe. If you do, we'll get to a 13,000.
Marsh, you actually forgot it. This got lost in the rough.
It did.
It did. This dude.
Reggie!
From deep.
Reggie, Michael, Rich, James, BW, Thomas, Brian, B. Willis, Keith, Brian, Elio, Big L, BK, H4, RNB Killa, Ruben. If you're a subscriber to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports, type me in the comments section right now. Jonesy, I know 5 people followed you.
I know 5 people.
I know they did. Keep typing me if you're a subscriber. We have 4 followers. We need 1 more. 1 more. Follow Tyler Jones on Twitter, and he will do a boot.
Links are in the chat. 1 more.
Links in
one
the
more.
chat. Follow Tyler Jones on Twitter. Let's go. All right. Fred, Brian, Mr. Billy, Brian, Puerto Rico, Big L, Johnson. We got it.
Let's go.
Jonesy, can we do it now? Okay, fill up the boot. Here you go. Let's do it quick because I want to get to a mailbag quickly.
Yeah, well, Jonesy's filling up the boot, and he's going to delete this boot. Get your questions in there. Use hashtag Knicks. A ton of people already got questions in from earlier, but obviously I want the fresh ones. I want what's fresh on your guys' mind. Get those questions in there. Hashtag Knicks. Poll to our system. We're going to have a mailbag coming up. You guys get reposted on YouTube after. It's kind of fun. You guys get to kind of watch yourself and see yourself on screen. It's sweet. So use hashtag Knicks. And we got another super chat from our boy.
$10 super chat from my guy Webb, who says, Marsh, that's for you to drink a bottle of water.
Facts.
I came prepared to the party.
I'll be making sure Marsh finishes that water.
Hey, I do want to say this. We got to $650 in super chats last week. We are $109 from breaking that record, which was set last week, and I want to break it tonight. I do. There's nothing more that I want to do than break the super chat record on this channel. I ask graciously. I don't want to beg. I don't want to be that guy, but I do have a goal. Today's goal was to get more than $650 in super chats. We're $109 away. We got the boot coming. Tyler Jones is coming down Broadway. Webb, mad love to you. You're a real one. I'm going to finish the rest of this water. Remember, we have a mailbag coming up in 1 quick second. Use hashtag Knicks or Super Chat. All Super Chats come to the front of the line. Those questions are priority because the real ones do what they do. But if you want to get on the mailbag, ask a question in the comment section using hashtag Giants. And Jonesy, the floor is yours. Let's give it up for TJ. Type TJ in the chat.
Spam TJ.
Spam TJ in the chat. You got anything you want to say to Knicks Nation?
This is for the Chet Holmgren recovery.
Chet Holmgren recovery.
We wish him well.
We wish him well.
And Knicks, I love the fans.
They're the most passionate fan base in all of the NBA. The TJs are coming in. Brian, Johnson, Eric, Big L, who super chatted $115.
Wow.
Jonesy, what's your
What's a knickerbocker?
It's a short. It's shorts.
Okay.
That's what they used to call shorts back in the day.
So you're wearing knickerbockers.
These are not knickerbockers. These are just sweat shorts. Jonesy, what is your time for today that you think you can beat?
I think I can go under 20.
Do you think Tyler Jones can do 3 boots in a beer under 20 seconds? 3 beers in a boot. 3 beers in a boot, not 3 boots in a beer. 3 beers in a boot. All righty, Jonesy, let's do it.
What's the poll thing? What do you guys think?
Can he do it? 20 seconds, over or under?
Ryan says no way.
No way he can do it.
Is that Jesus?
Jesus says, I hope so. Rich Rob says, absolutely. Porto Rock 78 says over. Billy says definitely. Tricky Nicky says 18. Big L says yes.
Okay.
If you don't beat 20 seconds, though, what happens?
Then I go home and cry.
That's fair. That's fair. All righty. When it touches his lips, I'll press start.
All right.
Let's get the crowd going.
Go.
TJ in the chat. TJ in the chat. He's taking a boot. 3 beers, 1 boot, a chug. Let's go, TJ.
3, 2, 1.
Here he goes. He's off. Let's ride. Let's see what he can get to. He's saying he can do it in less than 20 seconds.
Spam TJ
That
in
is
the chat.
3 beers in the boot. Can he do it? He's getting close. He's got 7 seconds. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19,
Down to the wire.
20. He ain't going to do it.
Oh, great effort.
Great effort. Great effort.
Give it up for TJ.
Great
Give
effort.
it up for TJ.
TJ.
Stepping up to the plate.
Thank you for being a real one. How do you feel?
I feel like since I already had beer today, that had me at a disadvantage. If I'd done this with an empty stomach, we would have gotten it. So
TJ, thank you.
Shout out to
Just
Tyler.
have to be honest on what was going on.
Show TJ some love right now in the chat.
I'll put his Twitter back in the chat.
Yes, put his Twitter back in the chat. TJ, thank you for answering the bell, brother.
Sure.
You're a real one.
Go follow TJ on Twitter. It's in the chat right now.
Wow.
Oh, I'll leave the beer movie.
Yeah, you can leave it. Oh, Knickerbocker sends in a $2 super chat. Luciano sends in a $1 super chat. Thank you guys. You guys are real ones. I'll take the rest of my water to the head because I'm already starting to feel a little bit from that chug a second ago. Give TJ a follow on Twitter. He does a good job here at Chat Sports. He does. He can drink like a tank. I wish I could drink like that. I think I can beat him with liquor. I can't beat him with beer. Not a chance. Alrighty. I could drink more tequila than him, though. I guarantee you. They call me the Tequila King. That's what they call me. Tequila Marsh. Tequila Marsh. Alrighty. We're about to get into a mailbag. Hashtag Knicks to ask a question or super chat. How are we looking on questions?
You know what? We're looking good on questions. And last time during the mailbag, it was all super chats, man. So if I kind of felt bad not being able to get to everybody, but it's just kind of how it rolls. If super chats start rolling in during the mailbag, they get top priority. So if you really have a question you want to ask, super chat. Could be $2, could be $10. Obviously priority. Get those super chats and hashtag Knicks questions in right now before we start.
Let's go. Hashtag Knicks or super chat. Let's get into a mailbag. right about now. What up, Knicks fans? You're watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. In today's show, we're going to be taking your guys' questions and answering them. This video actually aired on our live show that happens every single Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. Be there, be square, subscribe, and turn your notifications on, and let's ride. This first one coming in from BK Ray. If we traded RJ, who would play the 3? I don't think RJ Barrett's getting traded anymore. And the way that his contract extension is set up with the poison pill, the Knicks would, a team acquiring, say it like this. The poison pill contract means that if the Knicks trade RJ Barrett, it counts as an outgoing of $11 million in salary. Meaning, another team would have to send back $26 million in salary. It is near impossible to make a trade like that happen. Because in the NBA, you have to match salary. So imagine trying to go over a salary by $15 million. That's going to be tough for any team to go on. I think RJ Barrett is here to stay at least for another year. That poison pill exemption gets lifted next July. He's here guaranteed for another year. After that, hopes for the rest of his career. But that's as far as I can forecast. BK Ray, thanks for being a real one. Steven, if the Knicks trade Randle to the Suns, they will be 2022 NBA championships. I haven't really thought about. I've heard it on Twitter, and I've heard some things about the Suns potentially wanting a power forward like Julius Randle. Who do they got running the 4 right now? Is it Jay Crowder? Do they do a little Cam Johnson? They kind of just go like DeAndre Ayton and really 3 wings and a guard. So it could make some sense. I think Julius Randle with a guy like Chris Paul could be pretty damn good. Because Julius Randle's best numbers are when with Derrick Rose on the court, a true point guard. If he goes to the Suns, I think they'd be definitely title contenders. I think it's a good spot for him. Julius Randle to the Suns. Let's do it. Let's ride. Groovy, a $2 super chat. If we trade Obi and Grimes, do we keep Evan? Most likely not. So Evan Fournier is due $18 million. You got to get to $24 million in a trade for Donovan Mitchell. And if you do Obi, Evan, and Grimes, that gets you there. So you need to include Evan. Look, I would hate to trade Obi Toppin. We saw some stats this past year. We saw some games where he looked really good. 9 points per game overall, 3.7 rebounds, under 31% from 3. Got better as the season went on. The more minutes he got, the better he played. 53% from the field. I think it's like he averaged 16 points per game when he started games this season. More production or more minutes equals more production for a guy like Obi Toppin. I'd like to see him play here and get more minutes. But if I got to trade Obi Toppin, who's 24 years old, to get Donovan Mitchell, who's 25 years old, I'm going to do that deal every single time. Something on New York Knicks Now that we've been doing a lot is having you guys name a random Knick in the comment section, like Jamal Crawford, like Tony Douglas, like Rasheed Wallace. A random Knick, not Stephon Marbury, Carmelo Anthony, Walt Clyde Frazier, Carmelo Anthony. That ain't a random Knick. Give me a random Knick, like a Moochie Norris. Name a random Knick in the comment section right now. Webb, my guy, what's the poison pill all about in an RJ Barrett contract extension? So we somewhat just talked about it a little bit, but this is what Adrian Wojnarowski said. For trade purposes, the poison pill is computed with a formula that would put the Knicks' outgoing salary for a Barrett trade at $10.9 million, but require the incoming salary for a team requiring him to be $26.2 million. So it's a backloaded salary, makes him tough to trade. What I understood was that RJ Barrett was told by Leon Rose, if you want the max contract, we are going to trade you. And RJ Barrett said, you know what? I'll stick around, but put a provision in my contract that makes it really hard to trade me. And I think this is what him and his agent came up with. And as an RJ Barrett fan, I'm freaking glad it happened because I want RJ Barrett to play his whole career with the New York Knicks. Shout out to Worldwide Della. Are we sleeping on the Reddish RJ pairing? Good question. I want to see more minutes from RJ and Cam. Last year, I was begging for RJ and Cam Reddish to play more minutes together. Just because the connection they have on the court dating back to Duke. I think it was against the Los Angeles Clippers this year when Cam Reddish had 17 points and RJ Barrett played well. RJ Barrett the last 4 years have been good for the Knicks, no doubt. But I want to see them play more together because I think Cam Reddish is the type of guy, the type of small forward that you could have on your roster on the court at the same time as RJ Barrett at the 2. I love RJ a lot. There's no doubt he's a great player. I ain't trading him. But I do want to see more minutes of Cam Reddish, no doubt. When you look at RJ Barrett over the past 4 years, he's a great player. Like, he just is. It's the last 3 years, but his career stats are on the bottom. If you're telling me when we drafted RJ Barrett for the first 3 years of his deal, he would average 17.5 points per game, 3 assists, and shoot 36% from 3, I would say sign me the hell up. I would love to have that guy on my roster. I'd love to see RJ and Cam Reddish get more minutes together. If you haven't yet, change it. Subscribe to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports right now because we put out videos every single day on the latest Knicks news and rumors. We go live every single Wednesday. Nobody puts out more New York Knicks content than we do. So if you love the Knicks and you're looking for a one-stop shop on YouTube, hit that big red button. Help Knicks Now get to 13,000 subscribers. $5 super chat from my guy Seal Pasito. Mitchell's not a basketball fit. 2 undersized guards with spotty defense. No more Swiss cheese D. Shout out to Walt Clyde Frazier. Keep up the good work. You deserve some tequila. Oh, I'd love to have some 1942 right now or some Casamigos. I get what you're saying, Seal. But at the end of the day, is it really a fit to keep Cam Reddish, Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickley, Julius Randle? Like, is it a fit there? No. Does trading for Donovan Mitchell make you better? 100%. I love Donovan Mitchell. And the thing that I value the most in my athletes is, can you play your best when your best is needed? And that's what Donovan Mitchell does. When the playoffs are here, when the game is on the line, I want the ball in the hands of number 45. Because in 39 career playoff games, he averages 28 points per game, 4.7 assists, and is an efficient basketball player. Is he 6'1", 6'2"? Yeah. Is Jalen Brunson 6'1"? Yeah. Remember the Toronto Raptors? They won the NBA Finals with Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet as their starting backcourt. I know we have no Kawhi Leonard, but you can do it. You can win. This isn't the last move to a title contender. My thing is, get as many good players as you can on your team and get a coach that could figure it out. If it ain't Tibbs, get somebody else. Because it is dumb, in my opinion, to turn down trading for a 25-year-old multi-time all-star that has 2 50-point games in the playoffs. Shout out to Camario. Would you offer Julius Randle 4 unprotected and 2 protected picks for Mitchell? No, I'm not doing 4 unprotected picks. That's just too many, and I think that dries you out trying to make moves forward. And honestly, I don't think the Utah Jazz would do this deal. Because we've all heard all along that the Utah Jazz are not interested in Julius Randle. I'd love to trade Julius Randle, obviously, but I don't want to trade 4 unprotected picks. That dries you up. You'll be like the Los Angeles Lakers who are trying to trade for a 3rd star but can't trade a first-round pick until 2027. You don't want to be in that position. Camario, I get the idea. I know we all want to trade Julius Randle, but 4 unprotected first-round picks is a lot of picks, my friend. I want to give some love and a shout-out to all the real ones in the chat and watching right now. If you're a real one, prove it. Get your Real One shirt right now. A Knicks Now official Real One tee. Go to chatsports.com/realknicks. That's chatsports.com/realknicks. The link to the t-shirt is in the comments and description of today's show. Tricky Nicky, my guy, he says, I actually see Mitch having a breakout year with the signing of Brunson. Your thoughts? Mitchell Robinson, I guess who you're talking about. I'd love to see Mitchell Robinson with the true point guard. Could you imagine the pick and roll ability with Brunson and Mitchell Robinson? My only beef, though, with Mitchell Robinson is that I think he sets shitty picks. I don't think he sets good screens. I want him to be a better screen setter. Because I know we like to bag on Taj Gibson a lot, but he's one of the best screen setters in the NBA, and that goes a long way. It's not a charted stat. You can't go up to Basketball Reference and find it out, but watch your eyes. When Taj Gibson used to set screens for RJ Barrett, Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker, you just got way more separation, and it feels like Mitchell Robinson tries to slip every single screen. I don't know if he doesn't want the contact or what it is. I think Mitchell Robinson will have a much better year. This year he's already good. He's already been good. But I think he has to evolve his game a little bit. Be able to score from outside the dunker spot on offense. Maybe a quick little push shot from 6, 7, 8 feet out. I want him to set better screens, less foul trouble, and just stay healthy. Overall, I'm a big fan of Mitch Rob. Big L, when is your cutoff date? And just go with the use. Great question, Big L. I have two. Is that cheating? I have two. It's the trade deadline, and that's the fake not the trade deadline. The training camp deadline. That is, look, we're not making a deal after this. If it gets close and it doesn't happen, then my final deal is a day before the regular season starts. If you go into the season the day of the first game of the regular season, you don't have Donovan Mitchell, play the young guys, build the team out that way, and move on and maybe address it at the NBA trade deadline. I have the training camp period, and then I have the before the first day of the NBA season. Those are my two remaining deadlines. If it doesn't happen, then I go to the NBA trade deadline. If it doesn't happen there, then I open it back in the summer of 2023. Big L, appreciate you, bro. Last question on this mailbag. Over 39.5 wins, the young players are going to be better than last year. If Randle is playing better this year, trade him for an expiring contract. Yes, I'd love to see it where Julius Randle plays himself and ups his trade value. I think he could do that with a point guard like Jalen Brunson. His best basketball is played when he has Derrick Rose on the court because he has a point guard that can get to his spots, get him the ball in his spots, and also has a point guard that can create his own shots. And I think sometimes that's kind of needed for like a post-up wing mid-range scorer. You need someone else that can go get a bucket. And I think that's Jalen Brunson. I do think Randle will have a good year with Brunson. If he plays a really good year, I obviously want to keep him. But if he's still kind of a little bit of a shithead and he plays his value up and you can get a first-round pick for him, you take that and you frickin' run. You said over 39.5 wins without Donovan Mitchell. So I want to flip that question back to you guys. Over or under 39.5 wins without Donovan Mitchell? Type O for over, type U for under. Let me know what you're thinking. Sound off in the comments section. And I also want to give more love to all of the real ones out there. If you are a real one, type real one in the comment section. What's a real one? It's someone that makes it to the end. That's the one right there. The next one. If you made it the next one. If you made it this far, that's it. That's the one. If you made it this far in the video, you finished. You're a real one. Type real one in the comment section right now. I was like, I thought I saw it. I don't know what was going on. Shout out to the real ones. My guys, let's ride. $556 in super chats. Getting some breaking Giants news. Give me a second.
So Rich Rob came in with a $5 super chat that I couldn't get to, but he says he thinks the poison pill comes in if a team extends a player's rookie scale contract, then trades him before that extension officially takes effect.
This is what it says. In reference to NBA contracts, the term poison pill is used when describing a situation in which a team extends a player's rookie scale contract but tries to trade that player before the extension kicks in. Let me see if I can get some more info on this, because I've always been curious as well.
It's also just got such a cool name, like the poison pill. Like,
Didn't Jeremy Lin sign the poison pill contract when he went from the Knicks to the Rockets? I'm pretty sure he did.
So is this player beneficial to have the poison pill in your?
Yes, because it means that you can't really trade me. It makes it a hell of a lot different to trade me.
Yeah, that's interesting though. Shout out to Rich Rob for the $5 super chat.
It's a bunch of NBA nerd stuff, and I probably should know it, but it's a super, super rare situation.
Pretty much it just makes it harder to trade the guy.
Exactly.
Like, simple, stupid terms, like, it just makes it incredibly harder to trade somebody if they have the poison pill in their contract.
Texting my dad back. Give me a second. He's asking me about fantasy football advice.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do we want to keep this going? Like, how many people do we got watching right now? 340 people.
Rich.
Big L says, give us the update on the G-Men. So, this is what it's saying. The Giants have re-signed Austin Calitro. They've re-signed Tanner Hudson. They've re-signed Nicholas Williams. They added Max Garcia to the practice squad. And their IR now contains Shane Lemieux, Ellerson Smith, and Redarius Williams. Earlier in today, the Giants cut Max Garcia, Austin Calitro, Tanner Hudson, and Nicholas Williams. The report was that they were only going to bring back Calitro and Hudson, but now they're bringing back Calitro, Hudson, and Williams. I know a lot of you probably don't care about that. What did I say?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I'm lost.
Is he saying because I coughed?
What's good? I don't know.
That joke sucked. I don't know. We got a $5 super chat from my guy, Rich
Let's
Rob.
go.
Ooh, ooh. That's right. He says,
From deep, Rich Rob, 3 to the dome.
he says, that is because the team that has him at 10 million, the rookie scale D, but the new deal. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it means. So if we trade RJ Barrett, the outgo salary is $10.9 million. That's what he's making on the last year of his rookie deal. A team that is trading for him would have to match the salary, which is his upcoming contract.
So pretty much a team would have
$26.9 million.
compared to the 10. Okay, that makes sense.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Yeah, this is a great comment.
All right, some super chats came in. I'm gonna take a shot.
I'll take one too.
That's just where we're at.
Shout out to Jarvis. Salute to Patrick and Marshall. I'm a longtime Knicks fan. I really like your show, and I just subscribed. Love to hear it, man.
Show Jarvis some love in the chat.
Yeah, show Jarvis some love. So here's the super chat menu. We're 16 likes away from 400, which equals another fireball shot.
And we are 44 subscribers away from getting to 13,000.
Wow.
I know not all 323 of you guys are subscribed. I know you're not. I know there is at least 44 of you who are watching this video.
Think so?
Yes.
I feel like we got a lot of real ones in the chat right now. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. We'll see.
Type me in the comment section right now if you're a subscriber. If you are a subscriber, type me in the comment section. I better see 200 of these, 200 me's. If you are a subscriber, type me. I believe that there are 44 people watching right now that are not subscribed. I believe that.
Come on, son.
Paula says chat is sub only. Yes, we are in subscriber chat only mode, which means if you can't chat, it means you're not subbed. Change it right now. Big L, Rich Rob, Keith, James, Brian, Dylan, Seal, Johnson, Richard, Jay Livingston's, Brian, Tricky Nicky, Webb, Gunna, Michael, Mr. Billy Valdez is drinking. Let's ride. Shout out to Groovy. Shout out to Walter. Shout out to McRaybob from Australia. What up, brother?
Marsh, I would actually like to give a special shout out to somebody.
Yes.
And I'm hoping they're watching right now. Flea.
Is Flea watching?
I would love for Rich Rob to come in the chat and let me know if Flea is watching. The karate master. Let me know if Flea is watching. Shout out to Flea. I'm sure you are. You're a real one, just like your dad, just like Rich Rob. Shout out to Flea.
Rich Rob, Flea. Let's actually show some love to all the real ones out there. Let's show some love. Let's show some love to the real ones. Because I'm going to be honest. Maybe I thought there was 44 people watching that ain't subbed. Rich Rob says, damn, he's not home. I'm going to show him now. Please do. Yeah. Please do. Flea is
He's a beast.
He's an animal. Let's show some love to the real ones. Get your real one t-shirt. Like my guy, Knicks Galaxy, 1993. Shout out to my guy, Nathaniel Alston. He's a real one. Shout out to my guy, Astral. I hope you're in the chat, Astral. You are officially a real one. Jason B, a Knicks Now legend. Shout out to you, my guy. Shout out to Andrew. I hope you're watching today, Andrew. I promised you we'd get you on the next one. And I want to give a shout out to my guy, Rich Rob in the hat. Him, his girl, rocking Real One t-shirts. That, my friend, is as real as it gets. Frankie says he's wearing mine right now. Frankie, send me a picture right now on Twitter or Instagram at MarshallGreen_, and we'll put you on the show. Rich Rob, shout out to you, my guy. You're a real one. You show mad love. I hope you're still watching. Tell Flea I said what up. Hope they had a good day. We're 4 likes away from 400 likes. When we get there, we'll take some shots. And it looks like we got some shots lined up because we got some super chats. Super Slayer.
Jesus might be up there in total supers tonight.
Jesus has been balling. He's got to be at least 50.
I mean, he's been consistent tonight.
Jesus, you're a real one. Mad love to you, my guy. Salute. He says me. He's a subscriber. I appreciate you. Big L dropping another $10.
Because why not?
Big L, do you have a t-shirt? Do you have a Knicks Now t-shirt, Big L? Real ones? Everyone's asking how can they buy a shirt. Seeps, can you get that in the chat?
Yes, sir.
Big L, do you have a shirt? Let me know right now. Do you have a shirt, Big L?
Hit that link in the chat if you guys want to get a Real One t-shirt.
The link to the shirts are in the chat. If you get one, take a picture of you wearing it. We'll put it on the show. Big L, do you have a shirt? Please let me know. Waiting for you in the chat. If you do, it's okay if you don't. If you don't, I got a surprise for you. Webb, the link to the shirts are in the chat. Click it, get a shirt, take a picture of you wearing it. We'll put you on the show. Big L, I'll keep my eyes on the chat, but let me know if you have a shirt or not. Okay, Big L, you do not have a shirt? I will get you a shirt for free. I will buy you a shirt, Big L. How about that? What?
We can split it. We'll split it.
Big L.
We'll split Big L's shirt.
Big L, hit me up on Twitter or Instagram right now at MarshallGreen_, and I will buy you a shirt. Astro's driving, but he's in the chat. I hope you saw your picture, bro. I hope you did. I appreciate you for being a real one. Big L, follow me on Twitter or Instagram and send me a DM, and I will buy you a shirt tonight. How about that? I will buy you a shirt because you are a real one, my friend. You have super chatted hundreds of dollars to this show. That gets you a free shirt. That gets you a free shirt. Big L, Twitter is at, he doesn't have either. You got Facebook? You got Facebook? Are you not? Are you off the grid?
I respect it.
Let me know. Chugs, how much for a boot? 30?
30?
Big L, you're on Facebook. All right. Here, I'm going to do this. Ex-military. Wait, yes, you're on Facebook, or yes, you're off the grid?
I think it's yes, he's off the grid, ex-military.
Well, I need to find out a way to buy you a shirt and ship it to you. Do you have email? You have to have email, right?
Yeah.
Here, let's do this. Big L, get an email. I know you have one. If you don't, just make one. Big L, that is my email right there, Marshall@ChatSports. Send me an email, Big L, and we'll get you a shirt. I feel like I owe you a shirt, so please do. If you don't want me to do that, I understand, but I want to be as real as I can get, and I want to get you a shirt because I feel like I owe you a shirt. So I sent you my email in the chat, Big L. Just send me an email tonight, and we'll get things rolling on a shirt. So we had some news come in, and I kind of forgot about it. Let me go look at it.
Then we also had this $10 from Johnson.
We got another super?
Yes, we got another super. Shout out to Johnson, you.
Johnson, who takes the last shot if we get Donovan Mitchell?
That's a great question.
Whoever's hot. I really think when you have those three guys and whoever's hot, that's who you let shoot it. Because I trust RJ. RJ's clutch. Jalen Brunson's a dog. Donovan Mitchell is a dog as well. Who would y'all choose? Type DM, JB, or RJ. Let me know. Who would you want taking the final shot? If I had to choose, I'd go Donovan Mitchell, but I'm cool with any of them, honestly. What do you think, Seeps?
I agree with you. I think what you said first is whoever has the hot hand that night probably ends up taking the shot. But, I mean, if the ball is in either three of those guys' hands, especially I would probably lean towards more Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell. But if it's Jalen Brunson in a pick and roll, shit. I mean, I would be happy with that. But I would probably go Donovan Mitchell.
Mid-range Brunson?
Mid-range, get Brunson in the post on a smaller guard, but I would probably still go Donovan Mitchell. I mean, Mitchell's legit, especially in the playoffs. I mean, it's the Spider. It's the Spider. Groovy saying RJ though. That's interesting. I mean, RJ had that one against the Celtics this past year, the fade away from the left wing. That was nasty.
Richard says, how do you sign up to get those Real One and Knicks Now shirts? I just put the link in the chat. It's chatsports.com/Real Knicks. Chatsports.com/Real Knicks. The link is in the chat. All you got to do is click it and get to shopping. Someone earlier asked, are we over $600 in Super Chats? Not yet. We are $14 away from getting there. I'd like to get to $650. That was the goal going into today's show. And there's Joe Robertson with a $10 Super Chat. That gets us to $596. Once we get to 600 in Supers, I owe 4 shots. And I also owe a shot right now for my guy Joe.
I'll take one for Joe as well. Shout out to you, man.
Definitely feeling this. You do great work, bro. Thank you for that. That was awesome. But if we don't get D-Mitch, it's not all bad. Look at Cleveland and the Warriors. They built through the draft, and we need to do the same and let D-Mitch take the last shot. Yeah, I feel that. If you don't trade for Mitchell, this was my thing, though, Joe. This is my thing, Joe. Build through the draft, right? Okay, let's talk through this, and I hope you can stay with me right here. Right now, the New York Knicks have 11 first-round picks over the next 7 years. You have 4 this year, 1 next year, 2 the year after. 4, 1. You have 7 first-round picks over the next 3 years, right? 7 first-round picks over the next 3 years, okay? Remember that. I'm going to say it again. 7 first-round picks over the next 3 years. So if you have those, but you already have 10 players on your roster, younger than 25, where the hell are those draft picks going to play, Seeps?
They wouldn't.
You know what every Knicks fan says right now? I want more minutes for Obi Toppin. I want more minutes for Cam Reddish. I want more minutes for Quentin Grimes. I want more minutes for Emmanuel Quickley. I want more minutes for Jericho Sims. You can't have it both ways. Do you get what I'm saying here?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
You can't want all the young kids to play, and you can't have to make 7 first-round picks over the next 3 years.
That's a great point.
So how can you want all your young kids to play? Coop, bring me full screen with Coop. I'll bring this in because I respect Coop's opinion here. Because Joe right here. Look, Joe right here says, you do great work, bro, but if we don't get D. Mitch, it's not all a bad look. Look at Cleveland and the Warriors. They built through the draft. We need to do the same, okay? On the surface, that makes sense, right? Okay, but look, the Knicks have 10 players on their roster right now younger than 25.
Absolutely.
You have 7 first-round picks in the next 3 years.
Correct.
Where the hell are all those kids going to play? Because look, you know what Knicks fans? You know what the Knicks fans tell me? I want Quickley to play more minutes. I want Grimes to play more minutes. I want Obi to play more minutes. I want Cam Reddish to play more minutes. How can all those guys play more minutes, but you're also going to add 7 rookies in the next 3 years? How can you do it?
If you want them all to play more minutes, you need to trade a few of them away.
Yes.
Because none of them are going to – they're not all going to play.
Exactly. At some point, the New York Knicks will have to consolidate assets.
Go get D. Mitch.
Go get Donovan Mitchell. Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin, 3 first-round picks unprotected. Let's get it done. Would you do that?
What was it?
Pull up the trade that I cooked up, Seeps. Pull up the trade. I have the trade, because remember, we'll go through this one. Go through the other one first. And then we'll slide this way. Okay. This was the trade reported by Shams. Wow, whatever. The Knicks offered Obi Toppin, Evan Fournier, 5 first-round picks, 2 unprotected. Danny Ainge declined. So you have to up your offer if you want him, right?
No doubt.
So this is my idea of what a trade would get done. You throw in Grimes, and you add 1 unprotected first-round pick more. So you go from 2 to 3. You go down on a protected pick, and you add Quentin Grimes. If you were the Knicks, would you make this trade offer?
Without hesitation.
If you were the Jazz, would you accept this trade?
Without hesitation.
I think this is the most fair trade that you could cook up.
However, you have to remember who you're dealing with, and it's that fraud Danny Ainge, who won't accept anything.
Type F Danny Ainge in the
absolutely.
comments right now. Coop, thanks for bringing some experience. Joe, let me know if that made sense. You just can't build through the draft and play all the guys you already have. I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Does that make sense? Because sometimes I think too hard and I say stuff, and I don't know if you guys actually process what I say. I want to know, does that make sense? Oh, $5 super chat from Jesus, an MVP of today's show. He says, next live, I'm going to have my Real One shirt, and I'm going to be top dog in super chats. I promise. Jesus. I just took a picture of the screen, Jesus. I will hold you to that. Because one thing we do here on Knicks Now is we keep it a buck. We keep it 100. And if I don't want you to be a Joe Shiesty on me, you know what I'm saying? But Jesus, you've done plenty enough.
Yeah.
Thank you. I owe a shot for Joe. Let me take a shot.
You're also going to owe a shot for the next one, too.
I see that the super chats are rolling in.
And we eclipsed 600 because of our guy.
David, let's go. He says, F the speculation. I want Donovan Mitchell already. If you want Donovan Mitchell on the Knicks, type 45 in the chat. I want to see this chat filled with 45s. If you want Donovan Mitchell on the Knicks, type 45 in the chat. Dave, Big L, he says, not as long as I'm here. Big L is going to, I think Big L is going to hold the chat, the top spot as the Super Chat Ring of Honor. Shout out to Jay Deals, Elio, Will, Joe, Johnson, David, Big L, that boy, Johnson, Big Blue, Stewart, Carl, Worldwide, Webb, Edward, Walter, Jose, Jeffrey, Frankie, H4, Eric, NY Jets.
And we got another one from our boy Joe again.
Joe back. Joe, let's go. I love this back and forth. So how many do we reasonable let go? First round picks? I'm guessing that's what you're asking, Joe. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if that's what you're talking about. You don't have to super chat. That's the final deal I'm going.
Unprotected max amount.
I am not going over 3 unprotected. That is my
agree.
line in the stand. I would not go any further. It is 3 unprotected. The deal I would offer is Obi, Grimes, Fournier, 3 unprotected, 2 protected. This is my final offer. This is the furthest I would go, and I think this is about as fair as it gets for everybody.
I'm sorry, the Jazz aren't going to get a better offer than this.
They're not. Who?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, unless I'm missing something here. Like, I feel like why did he say no to RJ and 2 unprotected? Like, does he have another deal?
No, he would have took it.
That's what I'm saying.
He would have took it.
I don't know, man. It's really confusing on why he said no to that. I mean, Marsh, I'll ask you this. Do you think this trade offer has been on the table already?
No.
You think Leon's holding his
I don't think the Knicks have made a trade offer with more than 2 unprotected picks because every outlet, Ian Begley, Mark Berman, I really only like Ian Begley, but even Tony Jones has said the most unprotected picks they have offered is 2 and they don't want to go further.
And it's kind of what you were saying earlier. For if Anthony Davis is that guy they could go get if he's disgruntled in LA. I mean, you were saying it. He could be, and you're going to need draft picks to bring in another superstar.
My guy Jesse's back in the chat. You think he thinks the deal they got for Gobert is better than this. Is it?
The deal they got.
So you got Walker Kessler, you got Jared Vanderbilt, you got
5.
Beasley. Is it?
It's probably better.
Was it 4 unprotected, Jesse, or was it 5? It was no. You can't trade 5. It was 4 unprotected. Is that what it was? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was 4 unprotected with Walker Kessler technically making it.
But that's not an unprotected pick. Walker Kessler is like a Nissan Altima that you drive off the lot. Once you drive it off the lot, that value goes to shit.
Yeah.
That's not equivalent to a first-round pick, in my opinion. Because if you want, I don't know. I have the Gobert trade cooked up. Let me look at it real quick.
Yeah, I don't know. See, the thing is, Jesse, I don't know if
I have it as the Jazz receive 4 first-round picks. Were they all unprotected in a 2026 pick swap to go along with Beasley, Beverly, Kessler, Vanderbilt, and some guy named El Balmaro. Not sure who that is.
Marsha, Frankie in the chat goes, there's a Twitter space named RJ to the Lakers.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Who the hell are the Lakers trading?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Frankie says, don't talk shit about my Nissan Altima. It could have been a Rolls Royce. Once you drive that puppy off the lot, it goes down 30% in value.
Yes, sir.
Jesse says 3 unprotected and 1 top 4. Okay. I think it's fair to say, though, Jess, that Quentin Grimes is the best player in those deals. I would rather have, maybe this is a Knicks bias in me, Jesse, so keep me honest here. As a Jazz fan, wouldn't you rather have Quentin Grimes over Bev, Beasley, Kessler, and Vanderbilt? Wouldn't you rather have Obi over a guy like Vanderbilt? I mean, Malik Beasley's probably a better player right now than Obi, but I think Obi has the higher ceiling. I'm not sure Beasley is a winning basketball player, averaged 20 for the Timberwolves a couple of years ago, but shit, I could average 15 on a team that doesn't win basketball games. I think these are very comparable deals.
I mean,
and the reason I say that is because Obi and Grimes are cost controlled for another Obi 2 years, Grimes 3 years.
Yeah.
Meaning they're on their rookie deals for 2 and 3 more years.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're very similar. I mean, we can throw Marsh's kind of final trade offer back up right now. So what you guys see on the screen right now, 4 picks for Gobert, plus Beverly, Beasley, and Vanderbilt, plus a pick swap. And then this is what Marsh thinks. Evan Fournier,
This is the
Quentin
furthest I would
Grimes,
go.
Obi Toppin, 5 total first-round picks, but 3 unprotected.
If they wanted to go up to 3 protected picks, I would do it because I don't give a shit about those protected picks.
True,
but the
yeah.
most I would do is 6. 3 protected, 3 unprotected. I saw Jess asked earlier if I would do a 4th protected. And the reason I say no is because I want to have that 4th from a Knicks standpoint. And I know I'm speaking from a Knicks standpoint, not probably the most logical standpoint here. Team building going forward. We all know Donovan Mitchell does not make the Knicks NBA Finals contenders. I think it makes them contenders in the East, not Finals contenders. I think there's a big difference there. I want to hold on to that 4th unprotected pick to make a move for another deal. So no, I wouldn't even make that protected. The most I'm doing is 3 unprotected. And I do 3 protected, but that's freaking it. That's it.
Yeah.
If that doesn't get me Mitchell, I roll with who I got going into the season.
And I've always kind of had this theory about the NBA. Like, I feel like role players, like when they're at kind of the tail ends of their careers, they kind of go ring chasing a little bit. So if you bring in Donovan Mitchell,
Someone
like,
is going to want to come play.
like, okay, like Danny Green remember that stretch Danny Green had where he was kind of floating around like a 3-and-D guy like that, just hopping from championship team to championship team? That's why I'm not really too worried about giving up Grimes and Obi.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have role players who are with more veteran experience that
You
will
need
come
some
in.
vets to win.
But you
can't
need-
have only young guys.
But you need the star. Like
Yeah.
you need, like Donovan, like that's the thing about the NBA that's kind of tough, is you need that top guy.
Yeah.
Like you need that one dude. And, D. Mitch, I think he could be a 2 easily on a championship team. I don't know if he could be the 1 on a championship roster.
Can he be a 1B?
100%.
So if
I
you
mean,
have 2 players at Donovan Mitchell's level, does that make you a contender?
Yeah, I mean,
I think so too.
He was the clear-cut
And
one.
if your 3 is Jalen Brunson, I damn sure think so. And if your 4 is RJ Barrett, I think you're damn sure a contender.
Oh, who says RJ Barrett can't turn out to be a 2 or a 3 too?
I hope so. I truly do hope so.
I think that RJ Barrett deal was a great deal.
I do too.
That was a great move.
Jesse says, I don't think they value the unprotected. I don't either. I will say this, though. I know it's the Milwaukee Bucks pick, right? But that deal, I think the Milwaukee Bucks pick is top 3 or top 5 protected. That's damn near an unprotected pick.
Yeah, that's it.
It is the Bucks.
They're not going to get a top 5.
I know this is shitty to say out loud, and I'm realizing it's shitty to say, but Giannis gets hurt, that team is lottery bound.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And I know we don't want that to happen. I don't do that. Please don't take it that way. I am just saying that pick is very lightly protected, and if the things went bad for the Bucks, that would be a very valuable asset. Right now it's not, obviously, because you have Giannis, but I'm saying that is as close as it gets to an unprotected pick.
Or who says if they're a first-round exit? That's still in the early, mid-20s. It's not like...
I just have a hard time seeing a team with Giannis not being a top 5 seed in the
saying,
East.
yeah, and not making it to the conference finals when healthy. But we got this super chat.
Oh!
Pretty funny joke right here.
LOL, Nissan Vanderbilt, I'm dead. It's true. Once you make that pick, kind of the allure and the curiosity of what they can become, and you didn't choose the car. Once you take that car off the lot, that shit goes down in value.
Cuts it in half, man.
Jay Deals says Knicks will be a 41-win team without Donovan Mitchell. I do want to say this. We have a hard cutoff time of 8:15 East Central, 9:15 Eastern. So we'll be live for another 30 minutes at the very most. So if you guys want to keep this going, we can. 327 people watching. I'm down to keep this going, but I need you guys to carry the show. Start asking questions. Start making shit happen. Let me know. Does anyone have a question? If you have a super chat, send it. We'll answer your question. We did get to $600 in super chats, which means I owe 4 shots. And also, I owe one for David because he sent in a $10 super chat.
Marsh, you're going to like this.
Hey, Marsh, I ordered my Real Ones tee. Let's go. Get yourself a Real Ones tee if you're a real one.
And he up-arrowed it. Dat boy.
Did that boy also
what he
get a
meant?
Real Ones tee? If y'all did, please take a picture of it, send it to me on Twitter or Instagram at @MarshallGreen_, and I will put it on the very next show. Let me check my Twitter because I keep saying I saw some stuff.
Yeah, and I'll run through. Oh, Marsh. You're not going to believe who it is. You're not going to believe it.
Melinda! Melinda, let's go! Shout out to the Melinda, Rich Rob. Oh, wow, you guys, that's mad love. Hey,
awesome.
fam, tuning in at work, that's mad love. Just wanted to say thank you for sharing Rich and I's picture. You guys need to come out with junior sizing necks. We adore you guys. That I'm like, my body literally has chills right now because
good, man.
I've wanted to do this my whole life, and now I'm doing it, and you guys have showed support that I didn't even think was imaginable. Shout out to Melinda. Shout out to Rich Rob. Shout out to Flea.
Yeah,
shout out to the squad. This is them rocking their New York Knicks Now Real Ones t-shirts. Melinda, thank you to you.
I'm pouring one up.
Thank you for keeping Rich Rob safe out there, because I need my guy to be good. I can't.
Him down.
I need
Hold
him
him
here.
down.
Hold him down.
Hold him down.
He's a king. Make sure you cater to him. Rich Rob, cater to her. I know you do. That's why you got yourselves a good one. To the Robs. Let's
Cheers.
ride.
Shout out to Flea, too.
Shout out to Flea. Tell Flea I said hello.
Yeah, make sure Melinda and Rich Rob, if you guys are in here, tell Flea whenever you see him that me and Marsh say what's up.
So we have some breaking news here, actually. Go to photos. We have breaking news.
Really?
Breaking news here on New York Knicks Now. Breaking news. It's the last photo in there. Breaking news. We have breaking news on Knicks Now. That's why you subscribe. Hit that big red button. We are less than 50 subscribers away from getting to 13,000 subs on the channel. We have breaking... Oh, I got to turn on my... syncing. Hold on. I know this is like the ultimate tease here, but we're having... The files are updated, it says.
Here we go.
The Jazz are asking for 3 unprotected first-round picks in Donovan Mitchell trade talks per the GOAT, Ian Begley.
Come on.
He says the Knicks and Jazz will almost certainly re-engage on Mitchell trade talks prior to training camp, but based on where talks stood previously, it will be difficult to get a deal done without RJ Barrett.
Jeez, okay.
This is what Ian Begley is saying right now. This is breaking news here on New York Knicks Now. Breaking news. Wow, more breaking news. The Utah Jazz had sought out one of Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin, or Emmanuel Quickley in a package that included RJ Barrett. So they wanted 2 unprotected first-round picks, RJ Barrett and Grimes, Quickley, or Toppin. That's bullshit. That is preposterous. Is Jesse still in the chat? Because honestly, I value your opinion. I think you are extremely level-headed. I think that you can view things from a non-biased point.
Yeah, he's here.
Thing. Jesse, that is not fair. RJ, 2 unprotected, and Emmanuel Quickley / Obi / Grimes, that's bullshit. That is BS. Jesse, let me know what you think. Do you think that's fair?
Marsh, what would your reaction been if you got that notification? RJ, Grimes, and 2 unprotected.
I'd be pissed off. I am not trading RJ Barrett. Not a chance. No way. No how.
So they're saying they want 3 and then 2 of the guys now? Like they want 3 unprotected and then Obi, Fournier, and Grimes pretty much?
Like
you
I
think
said,
that would get it done?
I think that's what they want, and that is what I said on today's show.
Yep.
Don't call me a mind reader, but I like to connect dots. It's what I do all day, and I think that that is a fair trade for both sides. My dad is in the chat. Shout out to Fred in the chat. Fred,
Yes,
pull up the trade that I cooked up. I hope you're still watching, Fred. I could see you commenting and leaving. Fred, would you make this trade? Fournier, Grimes, Toppin, 3 unprotected and 2 protected. He's in the chat saying Fournier quickly and 3 ones. Danny Ainge is hanging up on you and he's blocking your call. Go to the weigh-in right with this one. That get effed.
That got effed.
How?
I have no idea.
Fred says no way he's making this trade. Then you're not getting Donovan Mitchell. I think this is what it has to be. This is as far as I would go.
We hit our goal, Marsh.
Oh!
We hit our goal. We got 2 to get to. We got this one first.
We got super chats. Let's go. Shout out to Joe. Here's a good question. How do we fix our long-range shooting issue? Because once you trade Fournier, we have no shooting, period.
Good point.
That's a good point. It would suck to trade Fournier and Grimes to... It would suck because you lose your best 2 shooters, right? In Grimes and Fournier. Fournier may set the Knicks record for most three-pointers made this year. Shot like 39% from 3. And then you trade Grimes, who shot 38% as a rookie. But you're also getting Donovan Mitchell, who can shoot 38% from 3.
Yeah, and Brunson.
And Brunson, you replace the point guard you had with Brunson, who shoots 37% from 3. So you'd lose your snipers, per se, but you don't necessarily have no shooting, right?
You would need to add a role player that's 3.
Go add Melo. He shot 37% from 3 last year. Go out and sign a 3-and-D guy. Like, there's not a lot of them left. Obviously, it's a hard position, but what about a guy like, his name may make me sound like an idiot. He's cheap. At this point, you have to sign cheap players. What about Tony Snell? Plays defense, can catch and shoot a little bit off the bench. 3-and-D guy, shoots about 35% from 3.
See what I'm saying? Like, role players like that would want to come to the Knicks, though, once you're building something. Like, I'm sure, like, guys like that are like, I feel like guys like that are like game 2 of like a playoff series.
Just have a good game at home.
If he hits 3, like guys like that, if they hit 3 threes, it changes the game. So.
Yeah, I think if you trade Obi, the Knicks will go out and sign Carmelo. There's just been too much there between the Knicks and Melo. But Jesse says, my first thought, I wouldn't put 100% stock in these reports. A lot of these reporters are posturing from front offices to temper fans' expectations and change public perceptions. Absolutely. I think the Jazz have the Athletic in their pocket, and I think the Knicks have Woj in their pocket. It's all about media manipulation.
Yeah, but this was the super chat that got us over our goal of $650.
We did it! We crossed over $650 in super chats. David with a 20-piece. I'm going to take a shot. He says, F Danny Ainge, toying with all Knicks fans. Let's get the F Danny Ainge in the chat. FDA in the chat. Everybody that types it, I'll give you a shout out.
He sucks, dude.
Big L said he sent an offer in the chat. Do you see it, Seeps?
I will go looking.
How long ago did you send it, Big L? Big L, if you could send it again, that'd be ideal. Big L, send your chat again. And also, Big L, did you send me an email? I'm trying to buy you a freaking free t-shirt.
Yeah, I got it from Big L.
Okay, you got it? Evan, Grimes, Cam, 6 picks, 4 protected, 2 unprotected. Would I do it? Absolutely. Would the Jazz do it? No. No.
They wouldn't.
They wouldn't. They just wouldn't. Feel free to weigh in here, Jesse, but Jazz ain't doing this deal. Okay, Big L said he emailed me. Bet.
Let's go. I feel like Danny Ainge is like, how is he not pissing off Leon? Like, how is he, like, honestly, I would just be like, dude, stop calling unless, like, you're actually trying to talk about this.
Yeah, like, are you actually trying to make a deal?
Because, dude, just the fact that RJ Barrett, 2 unprotected, and another one of those guys.
He wanted Grimes, RJ, and 2 unprotected.
That's insane.
This might get bleeped out, but Ainge can go fuck himself. No, I'm not fucking doing that. That is bullshit. 2 unprotected RJ and Grimes?
Come on.
He's got to be smoking the best dope this side of the Mississippi River. Pass it this way, Danny Ainge.
Seriously.
Hell no. Hell no. FDA in the chat.
So, March, I think this.
100% with you, Jesse. 100% with you. Fred says no cursing.
I think this is it, man.
I think this is the final deal I would offer.
Because the Jazz would just want quickly more than this, right? That would be the only thing that you could really sweeten it up with.
And I'm not doing that. I'm not giving you all the unprotecteds. Well, 3. I'm not giving you 75% of my best trade picks, as well as a 175% of my top 4 tradable assets in Obi, Grimes, Quickly, and RJ. Clearly, the Jazz didn't want RJ Barrett, or they would have made that trade. And Jake Fisher, in his call-in podcast today, said the Jazz just wanted RJ Barrett to trade him. The Jazz feel that they could have got 2 unprotected picks for RJ Barrett. So this is my thing. The Knicks essentially, in their mind, offered 4 unprotected picks because you think you can get 2 for RJ, right?
Yeah.
So that equals 4. Let's read what Jake Fisher said. And Jesse, shout out for you for transcribing these on Twitter today. He said, the Knicks seem to think the ball is in Utah's court. And I've heard from various people around the league that Utah has been the team that has backed away time and time again when talks have intensified and things have gotten to the 1-yard line. He said, the last person I spoke to today said, sure, anything is possible. It could happen before the weekend. Seems like we're kind of at an impasse. After the holiday, people will regroup. I have no concrete sense on when talks will be revisited. He said, it really seems like we are at an impasse because both teams aren't budging and someone is going to have to. One side is going to swallow their pride. I'm really curious to see when the staring contest comes to a close. It really does seem like it's Utah's next move now. I haven't contemplated too much of a future without Donovan Mitchell being traded to the Knicks. I really do think and am operating under the assumption that that's going to get done at some point between now and the trade deadline. He also said, I think it's virtually impossible at this point from conversations I have had today that a Donovan Mitchell deal gets done with RJ Barrett included. So we have conflicting reports between Jake Fisher and now Ian Begley. He also said, though, everyone's still kind of expecting Donovan Mitchell to end up in New York. Just walk away from sicko DA, FDA. He is crazy. How would you guys feel if the Knicks walked away from this deal? How would you feel? Type H for happy, type M for mad.
I feel like knowing the way Danny Ainge is handling this situation, I feel like you would have to be like, you know what, we tried our best. Like, we tried the reason with you. We just are not going to, give in to your demands almost. Like, he's trying to, bully the Knicks
100%.
into making this trade, which, I get it. It's the way of the league. You got to be like that. But at least, I just still can't get over the RJ Barrett and 2 unprotected said no.
And he wanted Grimes.
That's
He
insane.
says Grimes, Obi, or Quickly, but
Come on.
let me check my Twitter as well. So what's the chat looking like, Seeps? What are they thinking?
They're all saying H, that they would be happy, walk away. Yeah, a lot of FDAs in the chat. People are saying both, like they would be happy, but also sad that they're not getting Donovan Mitchell, which is, it makes sense. Webb saying RJ, Grimes, Fournier, and 3 unprotected. I don't know about that. That's cleaning house right there.
My boy's smoking rocks. Let me read this article from Ian Begley real quick.
Yeah, no way, John Young saying. Yeah, I'll throw up Marsh's trade real quick because I do think this would be my final straw if I were the Knicks. I think giving up Fournier, Grimes, Obi, and 5 total picks. I mean, this is a haul. Like, I feel like Danny Ainge is not appreciating the package that the Knicks can offer because I honestly don't think any other team can come close. Marsh and I have been saying it. The Knicks B offer is the best offer on the table. And the fact that the Knicks offered RJ and 2 unprotected, I don't think Danny Ainge will ever sniff a deal closer to that. Jeffrey Clarkson, I'll talk about that actually real quick, what you just said, because that is very interesting to me. Something I've been actually, kind of thinking about. So he says 2 6'1" guards, where is the D? Listen, first off, Tom Thibodeau, obviously defensive-minded head coach. I think he can get the most out of Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell. But also Donovan Mitchell, he's got like a 6'10" wingspan. And I know he got cooked by Jalen Brunson in the playoffs. But I do think of Donovan Mitchell, if he does lock in and kind of, I always say defense, yes, it has some skill to it. But I always think defense is a lot of effort. And then Jalen Brunson, I think he's a fine defender. I think he's got a really stocky and sturdy body. I do think him coming from Nova and then just obviously going to the Mavs, he's always been in winning cultures his whole life. He actually grew up about 30 minutes away from where I grew up. He went to a high school called Stevenson in Chicago, Illinois, and they were always a basketball powerhouse. So I think guys that come from good cultures like that, I think they just naturally, they D up. And I do think, yes, the height is a little concerning, but I don't know. I just really feel like Tibbs, he'll be able to make it work, especially since with guys like, RJ Barrett, he could really be a solid defender. I think Mitch Robinson, he's a very good rim protector in the league. I think you can make it work. I don't think you'll be able to I don't think you'll be able to pick on Donovan Mitchell and Brunson. At least, I don't know. I would love to see a Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson first-round matchup with Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, obviously just because of the battle between Knicks and Trae Young. But I do think just watching those 2 guards go against Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell, it would be a hell of a battle. And Big L coming in again with the $2.
Before we get to that, I want to touch on what Jeffrey just said.
Yeah.
And I thought you made a great point, Seeps. If there's any coach that can do it, it's Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Because he plays team defense.
Yeah,
it's not individual defense.
Listen, D Rose is only 6'2", 6'3", and he was a great defender in Chicago in his prime.
No one said though Derrick Rose is like some all-NBA defender.
No, but the Bulls as a team,
were a
very
great team defense.
Great team, and they didn't really have think about those Bulls teams with Boozer and Noah at the front court. He made it work. Luol Deng was a great defender.
Luol Deng and Butler, good defenders. We had Ronnie Brewer there for a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, so they had
solid.
some, but RJ, I mean, he could be.
RJ's a good defender.
He's
Mitchell
a good
Robinson's
defender.
a good defender.
Yeah.
Defense is more about, like you said, effort and scheme, and I think Tom
Yes.
Thibodeau could get that to go. Big L, shout out to you, bro. We have all we need to find out what we need for free agency. Is that what that means for FA?
We have all we need to find out what we need for free agency. Are you saying this roster is set up?
Yeah, the Knicks will not go out and sign anyone else in free agency if the roster sticks the way it is.
Yeah.
They already have 13 players on the active roster, and then you got guys like Ferran Hunt, Trevor Keels, Jeffries competing for those two-way spots.
Are you saying maybe next year, if you pull out of the Donovan Mitchell and those guys are looking around the league and you're like, God, you know what? The Knicks won 40 games last year with Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
Let me go there and be the piece, and then you have a true big 3 with, if it is Anthony Davis, RJ, and Jalen Brunson. That's why I really appreciate the Knicks not overselling for Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, and that's what I love about Leon Rose. He's being a
Yes.
true general manager. He knows he wants Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
There's ties there, the CAA mafia. But I like that he's drawn a line in the sand and said, I'm not going further than this.
Yeah.
That regime mindset is kind of new to this team. So I'm a fan of that. I put some quotes in there from Ian Begley in his new article. David Gates. Did we take shots for David?
I don't
think
did.
so. David, we popped it up on screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. David, I'm going to take 2 shots for you. Is that too long?
It might be, but it could work.
I think it's good enough for now. Can you just move it down a little bit? You know what I'm talking about. That's good. Perfect. What does the next one look like? There should be 3 in there. Cool. cool. All right, I want to read these quotes from Ian Begley's article. We got breaking news on New York Knicks Now. He reported that the Utah Jazz want 3 first-round picks. Let's go straight to the horse's mouth and see what Begley said, though. He said, based on what I'd heard from people briefed on the talks, I'd expect Utah to covet Quentin Grimes in any current or future talks. Utah had sought one of Grimes, Obi, and Emmanuel Quickley in several packages, including some that included RJ Barrett. So I'd assume that the Jazz would want at least 2 of those players in any deal moving forward. The sticking point will probably be Grimes and the value of the first-round picks New York is willing to include. In prior talks, the Jazz wanted New York to increase its offer of 2 unprotected picks in various packages discussed. Previously, the Knicks had been unwilling to meet Utah's high asking price, picks, and players in any packages that didn't include Barrett. Will that change now that Barrett is off the table? It's more likely that the Knicks engage a third team that can send draft pick compensation to Utah. He went on to say, the Lakers, who had previously expressed strong interest in Cam Reddish and are reportedly open to trading Russell Westbrook, seem like a logical candidate. They have tradable first-round picks and have a need for shooting. New York's Evan Fournier, a strong perimeter shooting, would almost certainly be in any Mitchell trade for salary purposes. Several New York decision makers are opposed to including Derrick Rose in a trade. Rose's salary would also help make the math work. So a lot to unpack there. A lot to unpack. Seep, what's your initial reaction as I kind of try to collect my thoughts?
You know,
if you want to go 2 Cam,
yeah.
I'm cool with that.
I do find it interesting, the little last part there about are they really hanging on to D? Even though if that would help a lot, like I know D Rose is like a Tibbs guy. Like I'm a D Rose, I'm a Bulls fan, man. But like, I'm sorry, if he's what's holding this up,
that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Because honestly, you know, if I was the Utah Jazz, this is the trade I would want. I would want Evan Fournier. Excuse me, let me restart. If I was the Jazz, this is the package I would want. If RJ is off the table, right? I would want Cam Reddish, $5 million deal expiring at the end of the year.
Okay.
Get off that $5 million. That's fine.
pretty ideal,
You got to
yeah.
get to $24 million in a Mitchell trade. So $5 million there. Then you trade $14 million of Derrick Rose, who has a team option for next year, which means he's an expiring deal.
So his is $14 million. They could get
$14 million of an expiring deal on Derrick Rose. So you're giving Danny Ainge $19 million in salary that expires next year. If I'm the Jazz and I am rebuilding, I want expiring deals and I want first-round picks. That is the best way. Clear your cap, be able to add first-round picks. I would want those $19 million. I got to get to 24. Give me Grimes and Miles McBride. Or give me Grimes and Toppin. I would want Derrick Rose. I would want Cam Reddish, $19 million. And then I would want Obi, Grimes, and I'm not even going to talk about the unprotected. But that's the player package I would want because you have 2 young players that are cost-controlled in Obi Toppin as well as Quentin Grimes. You have $5 million expiring in Cam Reddish with the opportunity to play minutes in Utah, meaning he could blossom into that player he's supposed to be, right?
100%.
So you're taking a chance on a player. There's no risk by trading for Cam Reddish. If he doesn't work out, you move off the $5 million. If he works out, you have a 6'8" wing that you have on your team for the next 4 to 5 years.
And Marsh, you've made this point in the past. What's the Jazz's best asset?
And I know Jess is watching this right now, and he doesn't agree because they have some unprotected picks, but they're coming from the Nets, and they're coming from the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Jazz's best asset moving forward is their own first-round pick. What's the best way to get that pick to be even more valuable? Lose ball games.
Donovan Mitchell will win them games early on. If they think, you know what, because Victor Wembanyama, he's a 7'3" Kevin Durant.
But it's not just him. This whole class is loaded.
No, agreed. So, why would they keep Donovan Mitchell for the season? That's where it's just, It's so confusing. It's so interesting to kind of debate.
I know that they have a lot of unprotected picks, but Steven says subscribe just to say that's hilarious. I don't even. What's Beetlejuice?
That's that movie, I think.
Someone in here said that I looked like some WWE wrestler at one point.
Who?
Some like Canadian WWE wrestler. I forgot his name. I told Jeremy. But yeah, that's what I would want. If I was Danny Ainge, give me Derrick Rose, $14 million expiring. Give me Cam Reddish, $5 million expiring. Give me 3 unprotected first-round picks. And then it's either Grimes and Toppin or Toppin and Quickly. I know they want Grimes, though. I know they want Grimes.
Yeah.
If you are going to trade for Donovan Mitchell, Grimes is going to have to be in the deal. At this point, that's what it has to be. I need everyone to brace themselves for that. You have to include Quentin Grimes.
I think you need to brace yourself for Obi and Grimes, honestly.
I think the trade that I cooked up is the one that would get it done for both sides.
This has to be the best trade left. Like, see, I want to know, like, what could the Heat match? Like, could the Heat match this?
I think they'd go. There's been reports that they don't value Tyler Hero, but there were reports they didn't value RJ Barrett. Could they trade for Hero and then trade Hero? You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like they talked about
with RJ.
With RJ, that's definitely a possibility. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is what I would do. This is the furthest I would go. I see my guy Brad watching me live. What up, brother? Shout out to Big Nick Energy. Big scoop by them on Monday. Brad, if you're watching, would you do this deal, Brad? If you would, let me know. You can send me a DM on Twitter. Brad, let me know if you're still watching. Would you guys make this trade? Would you do it? A for accept, D for decline in the chat right now. Would you make this trade? A for accept. Pudge says read the report over again. All right, we'll read the report from Begley one more time. We can only be live for 7 more minutes, and then we're going to get out of here. We'll do this. By 8:15, that's the hard cutoff. We'll read the report, and any super chats that come in the next 7 minutes, we'll answer those then bounce. Is that cool, Seeps? Okay. We've already been live since 5:15. We're coming up on 3 hours. We'll read the Begley report, and then we'll answer the last super chats of questions. Already been live for 3 hours. We're at $656 in super chats. If we get to $700, we're going to turn up, and I'll do 7 seconds in the boot of Fireball again, and we'll ride, and that's it. I want to get to $700 in supers. That'd be awesome. Someone be a real one. Here's the report, though, from Ian Begley. He says, based on what I'd heard from people briefed on the talks, I'd expect Utah to covet Quentin Grimes in any current or future talks. Utah had sought out one of Grimes, Toppin, and Quickly in several packages, including some that included RJ Barrett. So I'd assume that the Jazz would want at least 2 of those players in any deal moving forward. The sticking point will probably be Grimes and the value of the first-round picks New York is willing to include. In prior talks, the Jazz wanted New York to increase its offer of 2 unprotected picks in various pick packages. Previously, the Knicks had been unwilling to meet Utah's high asking price, which is picks and players, in any packages that didn't include Barrett. Will that change now that Barrett is off the table? It's more likely that the Knicks engage a third team that can send draft compensation to Utah. Went on to say, the Lakers, who had previously expressed strong interest in Cam Reddish and are reportedly open to trading Russell Westbrook, seem like a logical candidate. They have tradable first-round picks and have a need for shooting. New York's Evan Fournier, a strong perimeter shooter, would almost certainly be in any Mitchell deal for salary purposes. Several New York decision makers are opposed to including Derrick Rose in a trade. Rose's salary would also help make the math work. Shout out to our guy, Ian Begley, the best New York Knicks beat reporter out there. This is Salute to Ian Begley. We got a $2 super chat from my guy, Elio. He says, Obi, Evan, Cam. Who are the Lakers getting?
So the Lakers get 2, or the Lakers are giving up 2 picks.
For who, though?
Yeah, I'm saying I don't. Or
A lot of people have the Lakers throwing in picks.
Who's JC for the Jazz?
You mean MC as in Michael Conley?
Could be.
Could be. The only way that the Lakers are going to give up multiple first-round picks.
Oh, Clarkson.
Jordan Clarkson.
That's interesting.
So they're giving up 2 unprotected for Clarkson?
But you get to dump Russ. I mean, that would be going all in.
I think the only way the Lakers throw in multiple first-round picks is if they can get Bojan Bogdanovic,
True.
Michael Conley, and maybe Clarkson.
True.
They have said time and time again, the reports say that the Los Angeles Lakers are only going to include multiple first-round picks. Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, but I think, I don't know, this is interesting though. I don't know if like March was saying, I don't know if the Lakers do it considering they're giving up 2 picks. But I mean, Jordan Clarkson's a walking 18, 19 a game off the bench, and giving him, putting him with LeBron. I mean, this trade makes sense. I just think it would be the Lakers that would need to come around on this.
I think they'd have to get a little more back from Utah. Maybe they
Yeah.
get Reddish, but guys, I don't mean to beat a dead horse here, but Jazz aren't doing this trade unless they get Grimes and Toppin.
Yeah.
I know we can throw out all these different wild trade ideas and get creative and stuff like that, but Jazz ain't doing this deal unless they get Obi Toppin and Grimes. I think we're at that point.
So Kerry said in this trade, Cam Reddish goes to the Lakers.
You'd have to.
Yeah, so they would get Cam Reddish and Jordan Clarkson.
And dump Russ.
You get a dump Russ, but you also
There's got to be more salary going back to the Lakers. Maybe
True.
you also throw in Bogdanovich or Conley, and maybe that gets it done. I could see a 3-team deal getting it done with the Lakers. I think they're the prime 3rd-team candidate, no doubt. But
we also got this super chat though from Alvin with a
Alvin,
very cute profile picture of your dog, I'm guessing. So
Alvin, I appreciate you. Thank you for being a real one. It is 8:14. I said we'd have a hard cutoff at 8:15. We're going to do this. We'll do 2 minutes on the stopwatch. 2 minutes. Any super chats that come in, we'll answer those. Then we're going to have to sign off. We are $39 away from $700 in super chats. If we get there, that would be awesome. That would be a channel record. We've already set the channel record, but I just want to take it to another step higher, set the bar. If not, that's cool.
Yo, I'm throwing this up.
2 minutes. Got 1 minute and 30 left. If anyone wants a super chat, we'll keep the show going a little bit. If not, we're going to sign off and have a good night. Tricky Nicky, let's talk Knicks. Thank you guys. Love Wednesday nights at Knicks Now by Chat Sports. You make me forget about real life issues. Wow. That is one of the best compliments I've ever got on this show. I appreciate you. I honestly don't even know what to say because that's extremely flattering. Tricky Nicky, when we go live and I see you in the chat every single time, that lights me up a little bit. Thank you, my guy, for being a real one. Oh, Rich Rob with a $10 super chat.
He also said Flea was hyped about our shout out earlier. Shout out to Flea if you missed it from earlier today. That's awesome.
We got 30 seconds left, and we are a $30 super chat away from getting to 700. If we get there, we get there. If we don't, we don't. Rich Rob, I'm going to take a shot for you. We need where are the silent assassins to come in? Someone sends in a $30 super chat. That's going to be epic. Rich Rob, this one's for you. We got 5 seconds left on the shot clock. That's 2 minutes. Seeps, we'll give it a little bit. If not, I appreciate everybody.
Yeah.
We'll also do this. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do it right now. Subscribe, hit that big red button, because we're less than 50 subscribers away from getting to 13,000 subscribers. Also want to do a quick Twitter read. I'm going to throw my Twitter in the chat. By the time we're done with the Twitter read, we're going to get out of here. We got some stuff to do. And then we'll bounce. My dad says, great show. Thanks for the love, Fred. Thank you to everybody showing love. My dad said we work good together, Steve. So
really? My dad, hey, Fred, my dad said the same thing. I was on the phone with him last week. He said, me and Marsh do a good job. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I just dropped my Twitter link in the comments section. I'll give like 30 seconds. If anyone gives me a follow on Twitter, I'll follow you back and I'll give you a shout out. The Knicks Beat gave me a follow. I'm going to follow them back.
Rich Rob says UNC's got to go for pizza. We did it last Wednesday. We hit up Grimaldi's, the New York joint.
Frankie, I know you're watching, and you sent me a picture in your Real 1T, and I feel like an asshole right now because I didn't put it on the show when you tweeted at me again. So I'm going to quote tweet it so I can for sure have it.
Oh, and my dad just commented, agree with Fred. Nice job.
Frankie, Frankie called in when we went live for the RJ Barrett extension. We had a one-on-one. We chopped it up. It was dope. All right, anybody else following me on Twitter? If not, we're going to bounce on out of here. Let me refresh my page. And of course, the Wi-Fi here is BS. 2 followers have come in. Let me follow them back. Shout out to my guy, Rook Shiesty. Just followed you back, brother. And Alvin just followed you back as well. Alrighty, that looks like it's going to do it. Unfortunately, did not get to the 700 milestone, but 670 is very, very good. I appreciate everybody, as always, that has made New York Knicks Now a part of their day today. Give me a follow on Twitter at MarshallGreen_. I'll make sure to give you a follow back. I'll give you a shout out, and we'll ultimately see you guys on the next New York Knicks